Friday night baseball from Bosse Field. It's the final home series of the season for the Otters. Their playoff push intensifies as they take on the Florence Y'alls. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to historic Bosse Field in Evansville, Indiana. It's another hot day in the midst of a heat wave in the last homestand of the Otters season. Evansville's magic number down to 5 to try to make the Frontier League playoffs. They'll take on the last place Florence Y'alls. Otters coming off a series defeat as they fell in the series rubber match last night to Joliet, falling 5-4. The Otters got the tying run and walk-off run in scoring position, but the Otters falling just one short, and it was the Slammers playing for their playoff lives who held on and got the victory. Speaking of the Slammers, they are chasing the Otters for that third and final playoff spot in the West as we take a look at the Frontier League standings brought to you by Seal Corp. Gateway has already clinched atop the West. Schaumburg magic number is down to 1. The Otters trying to secure that third and final playoff spot in the West. Their magic number is 5. The Otters could clinch as early as this weekend here at home. Joliet is hoping to keep faint playoff hopes alive. They had to win last night. They did. They're taking on Windy City this evening, but a couple wins here and a couple Joliet losses. The Otters can clinch as soon as Sunday here at Bosse Field, or it could get more interesting into next week. Washington also mathematically still in play in the Frontier League West standings. Florence tied for last in the standings with Lake Erie, and they have long been eliminated. Otters 47-39. They've lost 5 straight series openers. Going to try to break that streak tonight. Their starting lineup: Noah Myers is the Edward Jones leadoff batter and plays center field. Ethan Skinder bats second and plays second base. Dakota Phillips batting third and cashing. Jeffrey Baez in the cleanup spot and playing right. Kona Quiggle bats fifth and plays first base. Yomar Reyes batting sixth and playing third. Austin Bosse bats seventh and is the designated hitter. George Khalil bats eighth and the shortstop. And Gary Mattis batting ninth and playing left field. Braden Scott, the Indiana native lefty, on the bump tonight for the Otters, coming off an electric performance last Saturday night at Washington when he struck out 8 batters, had at one point retired 12 in a row, and just allowed 1 run and 4 base runners over 7 dominant innings. He's 3-1 this season with a 3.34 ERA, making another start here at home in front of friends and family, the native of Jasonville, about an hour north here of Bosse Field. For the Florence Y'alls, their starting lineup 35-52, and the Y'alls really struggling. They've lost 7 of their last 8. Lane Hoover leads off for Florence and will play center field. Brian Fuentes batting second and plays third base. Brennan Price bats third and is the designated hitter. Craig Massey in the cleanup hole and playing first base. Zade Richardson bats fifth and catches. Harrison DeNicola batting sixth and playing right field. Bottom 3 in the Florence lineup: Hank Zeisler, the left fielder, Jeremiah Burks, the second baseman, and Ed Johnson, the shortstop. Rounding out the lineup for Florence, it's a bullpen day for the Y'alls. Carter Puri, who's a Indiana native, went to Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana, north of Indianapolis, will face off against Braden Scott. So it's 2 Hoosiers facing off in the pitching matchup this evening here from Bosse Field. 4th time these teams have faced off. The Otters took both series in Florence. The Y'alls, however, took the lone series so far this season at Bosse Field to start the month of August, winning the second 2 games of this series. The final weekend of baseball this season at Bosse Field coming up on the other side. It's Y'alls and Otters on a hot Friday night from Evansville. First pitch on the other side. You're listening to Otters Baseball on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and watching on Flow Sports.
Pitching for the Evansville Otters, left-handed pitcher, number 34, Griffin Scott. His baseball buddy, Callaway. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America's freedom, those who now protected and pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice with the singing of our national anthem, this evening performed by the Evansville Philharmonic.
The Evansville Philharmonic sounding beautiful on tonight's rendition of the national anthem. The end of this brutal heat wave across the Midwest continues to bake much of the central portion of the U.S. today. The hottest day yet in this heat wave, but it's the last one of the heat wave. 94 degrees currently. It feels like 105 degrees out with humidity. It was hot as 112 degrees real field temperatures earlier this afternoon, and there's no cloud cover at the moment under sunny skies, though a chance for some thunderstorms later this evening, so we'll keep our eyes on the radar. Evansville on the diamond, and the lefty Braden Scott on the bump for the Otters. He makes his 7th start of the season after starting the year with the Vancouver Canadians in the Blue Jays organization. 3-1 in 32 and a third innings pitched, a 3.34 ERA, 42 strikeouts to just 9 walks, and has allowed 12 total earned runs on the season. Scott's batting average against a minuscule 188, and coming off his best outing of the season, dominant last Saturday at Washington. 7 innings, allowed just 4 hits and 1 run. That 1 run he allowed came on the very first batter he faced, a solo home run to lead off the game, and then after that, pitched 7 innings scoreless. Around the diamond for the Southpaw, Dakota Phillips catching, Kona Quiggle at first, Ethan Skinder at second, George Khalil at short, and Yomar Reyes at third base. In the outfield, Gary Madison left, Noah Myers in center, and Jeffrey Baez in right field. Dakota Phillips catching Scott. We're now all 7 starts for the lefty from Jasonville, Indiana. Pitcher-catcher battery today brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. Lane Hoover, lefty center fielder, will lead things off for Florence, and we're set for baseball on this scorching hot Friday night. Scott on the left side of the rubber, first pitch home, a strike at the knees into Hoover. Wind softly blowing out to center field, but won't play much of a factor today at just 5 miles per hour. 0-1, sails high, 1-1 strike to Hoover. Shadows are creeping across the back half of the infield, right over the second base bag right now. Almost all the infield in the shadows, but all the outfield still in the sunshine. 1-1. Chop left side over is George Khalil to backhand it. Long throw across his body. 1 hop to first in time. What a throw by George Khalil, and Quiggle picks it off the dirt. 1 hop. Khalil's momentum bringing him all the way into left field towards the third base line, but able to 1 hop it into the glove of Hoover. What arm strength from George. Back in the starting lineup for the Otters after a couple nights off. So 1 away in the top of the first. It brings up the third baseman, righty batter Brian Fuentes. Scott home, outside 1-0. Otters in blue tops today. Otters written in script white across the chest. White numerals on the back. Blue hat with the blue brim. White front with a blue E. 1-0 to Fuentes. High again. 2 balls and no strikes. White pants with a blue belt. Scott's pants going almost all the way down to his ankle with blue socks peeking out underneath, wearing white cleats today. The 2-0 on the inside corner is strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Florence in baby blue tops with Y'alls written in red across the front. White numerals outlined in red. Red and white sleeves. 2-1 misses high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Gray pants with a red belt and a red batting helmet for Florence. 4th and final series of the year between these two. The Y'alls and the Thunderbolts, the only 2 teams the Otters playing 4 times this season. 3-1. Inside for ball 4. Fuentes works a walk, and the first base runner aboard in this ball game. Scott did not walk a batter in his 7 innings pitched at Washington last Saturday. Fuentes hit first. It brings up the big lefty designated hitter, Brennan Price. 6'9", 320-pound Brennan Price with 20 home runs on the season, 3rd best in the Frontier League West. Scott will work out of the stretch and deliver. Outside, 1-0 to Price. Our umpires today, Mike O'Leary, the reigning Frontier League Umpire of the Year, is the crew chief behind home plate. James Purnell at third and Drew Taylor at first. familiar crew here to Bosse. 1-0. A breaking ball on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Slurve from Scott, which is certainly his favorite pitch to go to, and his strikeout pitch. He had 10 strikeouts in his last home outing against Washington 2 weeks ago. 1-1. Sails high. 2 balls and 1 strike. This is Scott's second outing against Florence. He started the opener of the first series of the year here at Bosse Field between these two on August 1st. He gave up a 3-run home run to Zade Richardson in the first inning, and then developed some blisters on his throwing hand in the third inning and had to exit after just 2 1/3. The 2-1 is popped up foul left side and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's been a problem in 2 different starts this season for Scott. Blisters on his throwing hand. The Otters have tried to break up his starts over, make sure at least 6 if not 7 days. Just throw a lot of pitches, especially for Scott, who's been a reliever for most of the last 2 years in the Blue Jays organization. The 2-2 misses high and a full count to Price. The hand's just not used to throwing all those pitches. That's where the blisters develop. Full count to Price with Fuentes at first and 1 out. Pitch home. Outside for ball 4. A cutter missed into the right-handed batter's box. Back-to-back walks on full counts by Scott, and there's 2 aboard with 1 out here in the first inning. Command's not been a problem at all this season for Scott. 9 walks and 32 in a third innings pitch entering this evening. Lefty first baseman Craig Massey steps to the plate for Florence. No score, 2 on with 1 out in the top of the first. Scott peeks back at second and delivers home. A cutter ready on the inside corner for his strike. 0-1 to Massey, veteran leader of this Y'alls team, who's been banged up in the month of August. He's only played 8 games in the month. Didn't play in any of the 3 games at Bosse to start the month of August. Chokes up a little bit on the bat. 6'2 lefty batter. Pitch home, chop left side to the left of the third base bag. 0-2. That was almost looked like a slapper swinging softball. You take a few steps out of the batter's box and just kind of try to slap the ball to the opposite side of the field. Massey choking up on the bat a little bit. Just try to make contact and use his speed to get on base. 0-2 coming in this lefty-on-lefty matchup. Scott at the belt, comes home. Slider just outside. Mike O'Leary shaking his head. 1-2. It's a hot night for baseball. It's Deaconess night at the ballpark, and Deaconess conveniently, or Ascension I should say, night, conveniently with fans being handed out to the fans. Fans for the fans. The 1-2 misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And there's a lot of fanning going on in the crowd. Still over 90 degrees, 92 with a real feel in the low 100s at the moment with humidity. The hottest day of the year here in Evansville will be about 10 degrees cooler tomorrow and then 10 degrees cooler on Sunday. Quite pleasant on Sunday for this series finale during the afternoon. 2-2 to Massey. Check swing, a pitch up in the zone, and he went around. Mike O'Leary behind home plate, calling the check swing by Massey that he went around. Massey shaking his head in disbelief as he trots back to the Florence dugout. First German-American Bank strikeout for Scott, 2 away, and it brings up Zade Richardson, the catcher. 19 pitches so far for Scott on 2 walks and 2 outs in the top of the first. It's a tough night to find a rhythm with how hot it is this evening, and all the players across the Frontier League have been struggling with this all week. First pitch to Richardson misses low, 1-0. Florence just came from their home, Thomas More Stadium, south of Cincinnati. Lost a series to Lake Erie. Similar temperatures there throughout the week. Much cooler on the East Coast, but pretty much all the Frontier League West teams dealing with these burning hot temperatures. 1-0 to Richardson, sails high, 2 balls and no strikes. Scott falling behind another batter early here in the first inning. Fuentes at second, Price at first with 2 outs. 2-0 to Richardson. Inside, and Richardson pulls back his hands and hops backwards to avoid being hit. 3-0. No doubt the hands are a little more sweaty. The ball's a little more sweaty on a night like this, even for people that don't sweat much. There's no way to avoid it. Your temperature is over 100 degrees. 3-0. Right down the middle, Richardson taking all the way. 3 balls and 1 strike. Opener of this series, Y'alls trying to just play spoiler. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games. The 3-1, swing and a miss. Fastball up, and Scott's worked it full. Florence 35 and 52. They're tied for dead last in the Frontier League West with Lake Erie. It's been a rough season for the Y'alls, especially pitching-wise. Second worst pitching staff ERA in the league. Payoff to Richardson, high for ball 4. Scott turns around in frustration, walks around the mound, and stands off towards center field. Not even close on a fastball up. 3 walks here in the first inning for Scott. Harrison DeNicola coming to the plate. And the Otters pitching coach Max Peterson coming to the mound to chat with Scott. Whether it's the release point off or it's just a sweaty baseball, the command's not clicking for Scott. While he's walked all 3 batters on full counts, a lot of his misses have not been very close. Fuentes at third, Price at second, Richardson at first. Max Peterson walks back to the Otters dugout. Florence has some pop in their lineup. Average 5.4 runs a game, 9th in the league. They've hit the Otters well this season. Both teams have hit a lot in the 2 series they played in Kentucky. Harrison DeNicola, lefty batter, stands in to face the lefty Scott. Bases loaded and 2 outs. Pitch home from the southpaw. A slurve at the knees for strike 1. Teams combined for 45 runs over the last 2 games they played back in Kentucky as DeNicola takes high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Otters won game 2 of series these teams played just 2 weeks ago in Florence on August 16th, 11-10, and then a historic offensive output on Thursday evening, winning 18-8. The Otters amassed 22 hits, their most hits in any game in 8 years. The 1-1, a slurve on the outside corner for a strike. Scott ahead here, 1-2 to DeNicola. DeNicola hitting .215 on the year for Florence, but he's batted in 43, which is second on the Y'alls. Scott trying to get out of the bases loaded jam unscathed here in the first inning on this scorching Friday night. Sets at the belt and the 1-2. Slice foul off the backstop. Scott working out of the stretch, big deep breath, beige brown glove up near his chest as he gets the sign from Dakota Phillips. Sets, kicks, and fires. Fouled off the top of the bat and spiraling down the left field line off the fence. 30 pitches now here for Braden Scott just in the first inning. Another 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You have to love the patient approach by the Y'alls coming into this ball game against pitcher Braden Scott that's had a lot of success this year. The 2-2. high again, and DeNicola's worked it full. Nowhere to put him for Scott. A full count with 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score. What a big pitch early in this ball game, still in the very first frame. Runners will be going. Scott on the left side of the rubber, kicks and delivers. High, ball 4. It walks home Fuentes, 1-0 Florence. 4 walks here in the first inning. All on full counts. Fuentes scoring, Price to third, Richardson to second, DeNicola to first. And Scott just cannot finish at bats. Bring up another lefty to left fielder Hank Zeisler. Bases loaded, still 2 outs, now 1-0 Florence. First pitch home, a strike at the letters, 0-1. Just don't know right now why you'd even swing if you're the Y'alls. Patience is a virtue, a wise philosopher must have said somewhere. 0-1. At the letters again, 0-2 to Zeisler. Florence scored 22 runs, making 24 runs against the Otters the last series these teams played, but the Otters offense was explosive in that series 2 weeks ago. The Otters ended up winning it. 0-2, misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the slurve has not been super effective yet for Scott. He's been missing his spots on it. 1-2. Lined into center field. A few steps back for Myers. Reaches up the glove and makes the catch to retire the side. Could have been worse. The Y'alls get 1 run on 4 walks by Braden Scott in the top of the first inning. Middle of the first, 1-0 Evansville in front on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Deliver our pizzas to the third base foul line. The first one to do that is our winner. On your marks, get set, go! Very close race. Who's it gonna be? Oh, it's a close one. I'll let you pick your winner, but they're all winners tonight. Give a round of applause for Keegan, Kaden, and Kaylin for the Taroni's Pizza Race. Back to you, Zane.
Thanks, Clay. Happy Friday.
Bottom first here from Evansville. 1-0 Y'alls lead as 4 walks lead to an early Florence run. It's a bullpen day for the Y'alls. Carter Pori, the righty from Fishers, Indiana, on the mound this evening to start the game for the Y'alls, making his 29th appearance of the year and just his 2nd start. He's had a solid year, 4.12 ERA and 54 2/3 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts to 33 walks, coming off a flawless outing on Tuesday against Lake Erie when he pitched 2 innings with 3 strikeouts and didn't allow a base runner. It's his 2nd start of the season. His first went 3 innings against Windy City in a strong outing, but he's not gone longer than 3 innings this year. It's a spot start, bullpen day, whatever you want to call it, for Florence on this Friday evening. Puri and the Y'alls hoping that he can get through 3, and that'll be up to the rest of the bullpen the rest of the evening for a depleted Florence pitching staff. Zade Richardson catching today for Florence. Craig Massey at first, Jeremiah Burks at second, Ed Johnson at short, and Brian Fuentes at third base. Hank Zeisler in left, Lane Hoover in center, and Harrison DeNicola in right field for the Y'alls. Noah Myers leads off for the Otters, and the lefty takes the first pitch outside from Puri. Dark black gases for Puri. Side armor comes around from the half arm slot. Pitch home misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. Working out of the stretch even though nobody on. Leaning over, sets at the chest with the black glove. 2-0. Outside again, 3 balls and no strikes to Myers. Reigning Frontier League Player of the Week, Myers was honored before the game. Frontier League Commissioner Steve Tashler is here. The 3-0 on the outside corner for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. The Otters lefty leadoff man. Steve Tashler handing a plaque to Myers to honor him for his Player of the Week honors. 3-1. Chopped off the end of the bat. Leaning over is Fuentes. The third baseman makes the catch. Little knuckler off the inside of the bat with some English down the third base line. Fuentes reads it well to make the snare. 1 away in the first. 1 out and brings up the Otters second baseman, Ethan Skinder. Otters have lost 5 straight series openers in 3 of their last 4 home series. Magic number of 5 to make the playoffs. First pitch to the righty, Skinder, is popped up right side out of play. Otters played Joliet close in pretty much every game to start the week. Lost 5-4 last night, the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2 to Skinder. 7-4 win for the Otters on Wednesday, 9-3 loss on Tuesday. Otters offense relatively quiet, though, over the last 2 series. They don't have more than 8 hits in any of their last 5 games. They're really having a hot start offensively to start the month of August. While the pitching struggled, it's felt like it's maybe started to flip a little bit more over the last week. 0-2 is lined into right center field. Hoover racing back, looking up over his head and bouncing along the grass. It rolls all the way to the right field wall. Skinder's going to try for 3. The throw is cut off in center. A triple for Ethan Skinder. The Otters' second baseman remains red hot. It's his 5th triple and his 9th hit over the last 6 days. Smash to the right center gap, and I don't think Hoover in center picked it up right away, fighting the sun. Rolled all the way to the wall, and Skinder could have gotten to third standing up as the ball was bobbled on the relay by Burks out in center field. So Skinder at third with 1 out brings up Dakota Phillips. The Otters trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Pori home. Inside to Phillips, 1-0. That triple by Skinder ties an Otters single-season record for 27 triples on the year, tying the record that the Otters set last year, 27 triples, the most in an Otters single season. 1-0 to Phillips is chopped right side. Skinder will come home and score. The first baseman, Massey, gloves it and steps on the bag to beat Phillips. 2 away, but Skinder scores on the ground out, and we're tied at 1. Got to make contact, and Phillips does his job. Another RBI for Dakota. RBI number 70 of the season for Dak. 184 career RBIs for Phillips. He's now 1 away from tying Josh Allen for the second most RBIs in franchise history. 2 outs, base is cleared, and it brings up Jeffrey Baez. Puri home. Outside, 1-0 to Baez. And a piece here for both sides through 1. Ori delivers. Misses low again. 2 balls and no strikes. That sun playing a factor out in right center field. Bounces off the roof of Bosse Field. Makes it really hard, especially for center fielders. Lane Hoover is holding up his glove, trying to block the sunshine on this hot summer's night. The 2-0 misses low. 3 balls and no strikes to Baez. About 10 minutes or so, that sun will be set behind Bosse and not a factor for the fielders. Certainly helps Skinder on his triple. The 3-0 on the inside corner, taken all the way for strike 1. To Baez. Misses low for ball 4. First walk for the Otters this evening. Baez at first with 2 outs, and it brings up Kona Quiggle.
Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 19, Kona Quiggle.
Quiggle went 0 for 2 yesterday against Joliet, but walked and was hit by a pitch, hitting .266 on this season. Lefty batter to face the righty, Pori. Side arbor home, a strike at the knees. Otters match number 5 to make the Frontier League West playoffs. A win tonight and a Joliet loss, and they can lower that to 3. Joliet playing Windy City this evening. The 0-1 misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. They're tied at 1 top second, still just underway from Mozinga Field. Washington still in the playoff picture, a game back of Joliet, but their tragic number is down to 4. The Wild Things could be eliminated as soon as tomorrow. 1-1, misses in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Quiggle. Joliet really needed a sweep of the Otters. They did win the series, but 5.5 back of Evansville entering the evening for the 3rd and final playoff spot in the Frontier League West. They pretty much need to win out the rest of the way and hope that the Otters scuffle. 2-1, outside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Quiggle. Otters, a combination of either a sweep and 1 Joliet loss, or 2 wins for the Otters and 2 losses for Joliet would give the Otters a clinch on Sunday. 3-1. Popped up off the end of the bat. Racing over is Fuentes in foul territory, and it will bounce off the roof.
All brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Full count to Quiggle. Baez at first, tied at 1. Pitch home, lined high in the air down the right field line, but hooking well out of play. After a long inning for Braden Scott that took over 30 pitches, Pori at 21 now here in the first. Almost a half-hour first inning now. Pori steps off, throw over to first. Baez just steps back on the back. Gatorade coolers getting plenty of work in both dugouts tonight. Both teams spending as long as possible in the air-conditioned clubhouse off the hot sunny field. Payoff home again. Cut on and missed. A breaking ball in the dirt strikes out Quiggle to retire the side in the first. The Otters tie up the ball game. Ethan Skinner, a triple. The 27th triple of the season for the Otters, tying a franchise record, and an RBI ground out by Phillips. Ties the game at 1 after 1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
First, we're going to get into burlap sacks. That's the only rule. Let's get our finish line ready to go. All right, we're hopping our way in 3, 2, 1, go. Close race. Oh, a tumble. Oh, a dive at the end. So much entertainment. Round of applause for Jack, Jason, JJ with our Chevron Insurance burlap sack race. You know they're the one-stop shop for all your commercial, personal, benefits, and financial insurance. Creating relationships, finding solutions, and protecting you. It's Chevron Insurance.
Ascension St. Vincent is proud to support the Evansville Otters. Don't wait to get the care your children need, from dental care to regular checkups. Our Evansville Peyton Manning Children's Hospital providers are accepting new patients. Find a doctor at ascension.org.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. Griffin Epstein alongside our excellent director Ian Klingler and our rest of our excellent Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports crew on this hot Friday night from Bosse Field, the final home series of the regular season here in Evansville. Tied at 1 between the Otters and the Y'alls. Top of the second inning, Braden Scott will face Jeremiah Burks, the second baseman, to lead things off. Scott didn't allow a hit in the first inning. He walked 4 batters and walked home the first run of the game for Florence. Ready batting Burks. Southpaw Scott readies and delivers. A strike on the inside corner, 0-1 to Burks. Some clouds are rolling in with some nearby thunderstorms, and the sun has disappeared. Hope to stay dry through the evening. 0-1. inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The only advantage of Storms is they often will relieve some of the humidity when it rains. Clear some of that just heavy, wet towel feel. There's a possibility for some rain in about an hour or so. So keep our eyes on the radar as Burks takes inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Scott home. Burks fouls it off the screen. 2-2. It's remarkable. The Otters have now in game 87 of 96 have made it this far in the season with just over a week left to play. I'm not at a single game that's been delayed after it started. They've had a bunch of games that start times have been delayed, but once a game has started, it's never had to stop. The 2-2, a check swing by Burks. He couldn't hold up on a pitch up in the zone. 1 away. Second German-American Bank strikeout for Braden Scott. 1 away in the second. That brings up the shortstop, Ed Johnson, ready batter for Florence. How about Johnson? He's having a great August, hitting .343 in the month, and he's working on a 14-game hit streak. Pitch home from Scott. Johnson takes on the inside corner, 0-1. Y'alls put him in the 9th spot. Recent Alabama Crimson Tide grad. Nothing like playing baseball in the SEC. The 0-1 cut on and foul tipped off the top of the mask of Phillips. 0-2 to Johnson. 14-game hit streak is the longest for any Y'all this season. All for the rookie in just his 28th game of pro ball. 38 hits. 36 hits make it in 27 games played so far this year for Johnson. 0-2 from Scott. Inside, Johnson leans back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. See if Scott can do a better job of finishing at bats here in the second inning. Had full counts on all 4 of his walks in the first. The 1-2 misses high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's cliche, though, but it is always the hardest to find the 3rd strike, to find the 3rd out of the inning, and find the 27th out of the game. The 2-2 popped up by Johnson. In shallow left, Mattis racing in. Out is Khalil backpedaling, reaches up the glove and makes the snare. 2 outs. Want to make your lawn and landscape look like a field of dreams? Make sure you use 10 Bars Professional brand products. Pick them up at any of our 3 locations, beautifying the communities we live in and the grass we walk and play on. All since 1940. 2 outs, nobody on for the lefty Lane Hoover. Scott looking for an in-order second after walking home a run in the first inning. All tied at 1, top second. First pitch to the lefty Hoover shows bunt, pulls it back. It misses outside. 1-0. Out of the windup, the 1-0. At the letters for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 7th start of the season for Scott. He's made 5 of his 7 starts this year here at Bosse Field. Not a surprise that's the way it's worked out for a Hoosier native. 1-1, chopped off the end of the bat up the middle. Coming in Skinder to collect on the edge of the grass. Tossed to first in time to get Hoover. Bounce back inning for Braden Scott. He sends him down in order in the second. Middle of the second, tied at 1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Balls into the crowd. You will pass them around as our music plays. And once it stops, whoever is holding on to that ball is getting a $30 Hoosier Lottery prize pack. Let's get it, Zane.
it's time to see who gets to upgrade to the Ashley Furniture Home Store Best Seats in the House. Our lucky winner will get to spend the rest of the game with Best Seats in the House. I say congratulations to one of 3 individuals who took the time to sign up. Congratulating Nathan Lindauer. Nathan Lindauer, congratulations. You're tonight's winner of the Ashley Furniture Home Store Best Seats in the House. Make your way to the best seats and enjoy the view for the rest of the game with your feet kicked up.
Bottom second from Bosse on the final Friday night of the season here in Evansville. Tied at 1 between the Otters and the Y'alls. Yomar Reyes will lead off the bottom of the second for the Otters. Ethan Skinder hit a triple in the first inning, and a ground out to Dakota Phillips scored Skinder from first. Cartier Pori out for his second inning of work. The side armor fires inside to Yomar Reyes, 1-0. Arm dangling by the side of Pori. He squats down to get the sign. 1-0 to Reyes. On the inside corner, a strike, 1-1. Mentioned Pori's from Fishers, about 2.5 hours north of here. Suburb of Indianapolis. Went to Hamilton Southeastern. The Lions. 1-1 is fouled back to the backstop, 1-2. Was a 3-sport athlete at HSC. One of the better high school athletic programs in the state. Played basketball, football, and baseball. 1-2. Broken bat flare on the right side. Massey racing over on the edge of foul territory. Makes the catch, 1 away. The bat is broken and Reyes is out.
Batting 7, designated hitter 2, Austin Boast.
1 out for the designated hitter today, Austin Boast. Nobody on here in the bottom of the second. We're tied at 1 between Florence and Evansville. Boast making his first start of the season as the designated hitter. 14 starts at second. He's fared well with the bat over the last week. First pitch sails inside to Boast, 1-0. Hitting .260 now on the season. Had a big RBI single last night for the Otters in the 9th inning to cut a 2-run lead in half. Give the Otters a chance for a comeback that fell just short last night against Joliet. The 1-0 taken for a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. The 1-1 misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Post had a double back on Wednesday. Guy you know can really swing the bat well. Also an SEC player, batted .298 over 4 years at Texas A&M. 2-1. Popped up off the edge of the bat of Boast on the left side in foul territory. Fuentes, the third baseman, racing over under the baseball, reaches out and makes the jogging catch for the second out of the second. 2 quick outs for Pori here in the second inning, looking for a bounce back inning of his own.
The shortstop, number 6, George Khalil.
2 away, nobody on for the ready batter, George Khalil. Otters shortstop had the last 2 nights off. Last played on Tuesday when he went 0 for 4. Pori delivers inside, 1-0. George had 9 games off in early August. Didn't play in the first series these teams had in August. It's the 3rd series between these two in the month. The 1-0 at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Since his 8 games coming back after 9 games off, 11 hits, 3 doubles, and 4 runs. An 8-game hit streak going. That ended Sunday at Washington. 1-1 bounces in the dirt outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's just starting to come into effect. Clouds have cut out the sun, and the sky's starting to darken. 2-1, a half swing by Khalil on a breaking ball falling out of the zone. 2-2. Pori looking for a 1-2-3 second inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom second, tied at 1. Series opener between the Y'alls and the Otters. 2-2. Half swing by Khalil, and it just nicked off the top of the bat and back to the backstop. 2-2 again. Cut on and missed. Fastball in, foul tipped into the glove of Richardson. Otters go down in order in the second after 2 innings played. It's the Otters 1, the Y'alls 1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Fish around. It's the tin fish toss. We have Tatum and Parcel in here. We're going to see how many fish they can get in this basket right here. We've got all the fish tonight. Old school. All right. On your mark, get set, toss. Stayed in real still over there. Oh! Feed the basket. There we go. Good aim. Oh, hey, we got one fish in there though, so round of applause for Tatum and Carcelin. What a great team tonight for our tin fish toss.
I'd like to wish happy birthday to 2 twins here celebrating their 5th birthday, Arlo and Edie. Happy birthday, twins. 5 years old. Doesn't specify which twin celebrated their birthday very first, but happy birthday to the twins.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. Tied at 1 between the Otters and the Y'alls. Top third. Time to take a look at the Frontier League standings brought to you by Seal Corp. Gateway 3 games up on Schaumburg and 6 games up on the Otters. Evansville, Schaumburg, and Gateway, the 3 teams in playoff position to make it in the West. The Otters 3 back of Schaumburg for 2nd place, and Joliet chasing the Otters 5.5 back of Evansville. In the East, New Jersey and Quebec tied 54 and 32, and Tri-City in that 3rd and final playoff spot. They are 2 games back of the Jackals and the Capitales. Boulder still have a real shot. They're playing Tri-City this weekend, and New York is just 2 games back of Tri-City. That's almost functioning as a playoff series in its own this weekend in Pomona between the Boulders and the Valley Cats. Gateway and Schaumburg are playing each other also in a playoff-esque series this weekend up at Wintrust Field in Schaumburg. 3rd to last series of the Frontier League kicking off this weekend across the United States in the Frontier League. First pitch to Brian Fuentes, righty batter, takes for a strike. 0-1 from Scott. Fuentes hammers high in the air to left field. Mattis racing back, looking up, see ya. Brian Fuentes goes deep for his 9th home run of the season, and the Y'alls retake the lead 2-1 in the top of the 3rd.
Designated hitter,
100 miles per hour off the bat of Fuentes and just carried over the left field wall on this hot, humid night. Fuentes hits his 2nd home run against the Otters this month, his 9th of the season, and the Y'alls retake the lead 2-1 with nobody out in the 3rd. First pitch home to Price, misses outside, 1-0. 3rd home run that Scott has allowed this season. He's done a good job keeping the ball down. Just his 3rd home run allowed in 34 1/3 innings pitch entering the inning. 1-0 to Price, outside again, 2 balls and no strikes. First hit that Scott's allowed. He walked 4 batters, walked home a run in the first, 1-2-3 second, and a leadoff home run here in the 3rd. 2-0, misses low, 3-0 to Price. .3-0 pitch, outside, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Brennan Price here in the 3rd. He's aboard at first. With nobody out as Craig Massey comes to the plate. 2 runs on a hit and an error, and no errors for Florence. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors for Evansville. Lefty on lefty matchup. Otters infield shaded in as the first pitch to Massey of strike out the letters. I'll mention some big games across the Frontier League tonight. We'll check our first scoreboard check of many this evening, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. A 1 to Massey. A breaking ball at the letters for a strike going 2. Schaumburg off to an early lead against Gateway. 4-1 lead for the Boomers over the Grizzlies. A Schaumburg sweep. And they could be tied with Gateway going into the last week of the season for first place in the West. A Gateway series win and pretty much put away the division. Massey will step out and call time. A big series in the East we mentioned between Tri-City and New York. The Valley Cats 2 games up on the Boulders for the last spot in the West. Tri-City leads New York 4-2, bottom 4 from Clover Stadium in the Hudson Valley. 0-2 to Massey is popped up into right. He flips his bat up in frustration as Baez drifts over and makes the catch. 1 away. Massey won't pick up the bat. He'll walk right over home plate. Have the bat boy pick up the bat for him. Walk back to the dugout. He is one of the more emotional players in the Frontier League. 1 out, nobody on, and it brings up Zade Richardson. 2-1, Y'alls lead here in the top of the 3rd. Scott home, sails high 1-0 to Richardson. Washington leads Lake Erie 3-0 top 6. Wild Things still haven't been eliminated from the playoffs yet. They're 6.5 back of the Otters for the last spot. Scott is going to call time and rebutton his jersey. Top button above Otters had come undone. Now he settles back in on the mound. Price at first with 1 out, just a 2-stride lead there for the big first baseman. The 1-0 is a check swing foul, 1-hopped in front of the glove of Quiggle, who tried to make the catch in the air. Bounced in front of him, 1-1. Joliet and Windy City tied at 1, bottom 3rd. Otters really rooting for the T-Bolts this weekend. Try to clinch a playoff spot as early as Sunday. Those are your big games we're watching tonight across the WJPS 107.1 out-of-town scoreboard. 1-1 to Richardson. Poked off the end of the battle. 1-hopper to Quiggle. He steps on the first base bag. Throws to second. Khalil tags out Price. Double play. Inning's over. What a weird-looking way to end the inning. Another check swing by Richardson that bounced off the end of the bat. This one stayed fair. Price didn't take off right away, and all Quiggle had to do was step on the first base bag. And Price just basically stopped running down to second, and Khalil just tagged him out to retire the side. A 3-6 inning-ending double play, but Florence retakes the lead on a solo home run from Brian Fuentes. It's 2-1 Florence, middle of the 3rd on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Tomorrow, Teacher Appreciation Night, EBSC Foundation, and my favorite grocery store, that's Schnucks. Get Schnucks rewards, you won't regret it. And then on Sunday, Warwick County Day, sponsored by Studio B, and the dog days of summer. By then, the temperature is going to be way better. Mid-80s, the forecasted highs on Sunday. $2 hot dogs. Like to join us this weekend at EvansvilleOtters.com.
Bottom 3rd from Bosse. 2-1 Y'alls lead over the Otters. 1 hit apiece for both sides. A go-ahead home run by Brian Fuentes in the top of the 3rd inning, putting the Y'alls in front. Gary Mattis in the 9th spot tonight for the Otters will lead things off here in the bottom of the 3rd. Carter Pori home. First pitch inside for a ball to Mattis. Always love the glasses look for pitchers, the 1-0. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. It's a fun look for Pori. Bleach blonde hair underneath his blue cap. Dark black glasses with a clasp around his head, sticking out under his cap, so the glasses stay on. The 2-0, the fastball inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Mattis. Comes around with the sidearm motion. There's a lot of unique aspects to Pori's game. The 3-0, right down the middle, 3-1 to Mattis. Guy that played at 5 different schools. 4 different schools make it over 5 seasons as Mattis fouls one left side and a full count. 1 year at Western Illinois, 1 year at Lincoln Trail Community College, which is in Robinson, Illinois, not too far away from here in Evansville, about an hour away. 2 years at Murray State, which is also not too far away here from Evansville. And then his senior year, graduate year, I should say, as the payoff home is fouled left side and out of play by Mattis. Played his graduate year in 2022 at Quinnipiac in upstate New York.
Choose the best, never regret it.
Another payoff coming to Mattis. Pori home. Mattis rips one into left field. Back is Zeisler, reaches up the glove and makes the catch. 1 out in the 3rd. Evansville Otter fans, 2023 brings new opportunities to catch all the latest Frontier League action. Be sure to check out the Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe today for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. 1 out, nobody on for Noah Myers, who takes inside 1-0. Pori has retired 5 in a row. A 1 to Myers, grounded right side and foul. 0-2. Billy Easley, the Otters' first base coach, able to field it. A little bit of a bobble, but Billy's got it and tosses it to Landon, the bat boy. Sun is set, lights about maybe 60 or 70% effect. 1-1. Myers chops foul again, right side. Sun sets early here in Southwest Indiana in the Central Time Zone. Shadows that all the players had to deal with for much of June will play very much of a factor now in evening games. 1-2 is grounded right side again in foul. Another one pulled down the line by Myers, just a little bit early. DeNicola racing over down the right field line at the wall, throws it back out of play. One, 2. High, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A magenta cloud out past center field, the sun bouncing off of it. Final rays of sunshine on this Friday night. 2-2 inside and a full count to Myers. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom 3rd, 2-1. Y'alls over the Otters. Payoff from Pori. Line down the right field line by Myers. It's foul. Just to the right, a foot to the right of the right field foul line off the warning track in the Sammy's corner sign. Another ball just missed down the right field line by the reigning Frontier League Player of the Week. Noah looking for hit number 105 on the season. 8th in the Frontier League with 104 hits on the season. Hitting .394 here in the month of August. Another payoff. Outside, ball 4. It's a walk for Myers, his 57th of the season, which is also in the top 10 in the Frontier League. Second walk for Pori. And it brings up Ethan Skinder with Myers at first and 1 out. Myers has great speed, 35 stolen bases on the season, 6th most in the Frontier League. Otters trying to tie this game up in the 3rd as they trail 2-1. Go-ahead home run by Brian Fuentes in the 3rd out. Bowie home to Skinner. Myers takes off on the first pitch. Throw down to second. It's a good one. Safe is Skinner, or safe is Myers. Richardson could have not put on a better throw on the money. Jeremiah Burke's tag was there. Myers, bang, bang play, just beats his foot to the bag ahead of the tag. Stolen base number 36 of the season for Noah. 1-0 to Skinner is grounded left side, playing it back on a hop. The shortstop Johnson throw to first, beats Skinner by a stride. 2 outs in the third. Bring up Dakota Phillips, lefty catcher, with 2 outs here in the third as the Otters drill 2-1. Bowie working out of the stretch on the first base side of the mound. Looking back at Myers at second, steps off and fake tosses to the bag. Myers will step back on the bag. At Johnson, the shortstop, standing on the edge of the center field grass behind second base, with the third baseman Fuentes shifted over into more of the shortstop position. The first pitch to the lefty, outside, 1-0. Second baseman Burks is standing on the edge of the right field grass. A light shift here by Florence, not as strong as what Tom Vaith in Washington did all weekend in Pennsylvania last weekend, playing Phillips and Quiggle and Myers, all the 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. Dramatic shift that's illegal in Major League Baseball. One out to Phillips, outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Myers at second with 2 outs here in the third. 2-1, Florence lead. Bowie looking back at second and home, outside, 3-0 to Phillips. Myers with another stolen base. Otters have been aggressive on the base pass over the last week. Entered today with 10 stolen bases in their last 4 games, at least 2 bags taken over their last 4. 3-0. On the outside corner, a strike. 3-1 to Dak. And you don't think of the Otters as a fast team, but I'm not sure a lightning fast or crazy aggressive on the bases. But you look at the stats now. The Otters, 3rd most stolen bases in the Frontier League, 146. Only behind Schaumburg and Gateway. 2 teams above them in the West standings as Bowie turns around and is going to be called for a balk. He set for just a millisecond before stepping off and looking back Myers. It's been a balkathon here at Bosse Field. That is the 4th balk seen this week here at Bosse. 3 by opponents, 1 by the Otters. So Myers now at third. The 3-1 by Phillips is hammered high in the air to right. Hoover back at the wall, looking up. It's gone. Dakota Phillips, a 2-run home run over the right center wall, gives the Otters a 3-2 lead.
Right fielder number 33, Jeffrey Baez.
The 11th home run of the season for Dakota Phillips. Sailing over the right center wall on this hot night, 397 feet. Just kept on carrying on Hoover. Jeffrey Baez takes a first pitch strike. The Otters have gone in front 3-2. 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. Phillips has been a Y'alls killer this year. Hitting .457 entering this series against Florence, and that's his 5th home run against the Y'alls. 0-2 outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 5 of the 11 home runs hit this year now by Dak have been against Florence. Now, the first 4 were all in Kentucky, but something about Y'alls pitching opens up the power in Dak's bat. 1-2, misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And with those 2 driven in by Phillips, he goes into the history books. 186 career RBIs. He now has the 2nd most runs batted in Otters franchise history. The 2-2 off the hand of Phillips. Checked his swing, and the ball ran in and hit right off his right hand. Pori thought he went around, and I think Chad Rhodes, the Florence manager, thought so as well. He's walking out to chat with Mike O'Leary. Now, if Baez couldn't hold up, then it's a strike, even if it hit him on the hand. Rhodes looking for an explanation from Mike O'Leary. Meanwhile, the pitching coach, Carl Craigie, for Florence, out to chat with Pori, who hasn't gone longer than 3 innings this season as a bullpen day. And it's been a busy evening now for Pori. He's at 63 pitches. There is a righty warming in the Florence bullpen. This is probably a much higher pitch count than Florence could have even imagined Pori would go, but trying to get him through 3. It's an out away, but Dakota Phillips a go-ahead 2-run home run here in the 3rd, and now Baez hit by a pitch. Chad Rhodes back to the Florence dugout. Nothing but frustration. Now it's the lefty Kona Quiggle with Baez at first. Baez takes off, but Quiggle fouls it back to the backstop. Dakota Phillips passes Josh Allen. RBI 185 and 186 on that 2-run home run. 2nd most RBIs in franchise history. He's now only behind John Schultz's 220 RBIs. That comes back to the Otters next year. He should be able to pass that number. Also his 41st career home run, which ties him now for the 3rd most in franchise history. 0-1. Quiggle swings and lines one down the right field line, falling fair. Baez led to 3rd as it's picked up by DeNicola and bobbled. Headed to 2nd is Quiggle. He slides it safely. Baez is going to try to come home. The throw is in time, and out at the plate is Baez. Andy McCauley doesn't agree with the call, having a quick word with Mike O'Leary. A bobble by DeNicola in right. Quiggle went to 2nd. Baez tried to score all the way from 1st, but thrown out. Johnson had the throw home to end the inning in the 3rd. The Otters take the lead, though, a 2-run home run by Dakota Phillips after 3 innings played. It's 3-2 Otters on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Thank you, Clay. Ascension St. Vincent is proud to support the Evansville Otters. There's peace of mind in having an OBGYN you're comfortable talking with, who understands your preferences and is always ready to answer your questions. No matter how big or small, schedule care now at ascension.org/St. Vincent Women's.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is presented by Old National Bank. Your success is everything. Harrison DeNicola leads off for Florence in the top of the 4th inning. A 3-2 lead for Evansville over Florence. A 2-run home run by Dakota Phillips in the 3rd inning, giving the Otters their first lead of the night. Lefty on lefty matchup is Scott Combs home. A first pitch strike at the knees to DeNicola. Skies have darkened, sun is set, and the lights into mostly full effect on this Friday night. 0-1. Slider misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike to DeNicola. A ball from the Florence bullpen has gotten out onto the warning track in left field, and time is called. Porre's day likely done. Gave Florence 3 innings, but the Otters did a good job of working him hard. 70 pitches on the night for the righty from Fishers, Indiana. 1-1. Popped up by DeNicola into right. Baez going back a few steps from the track, circles under it and makes the catch. 1 out in the top of the 4th. Some early runs for the Otters, trying to bounce back from a series loss to Joliet. Otters lost their last home series before the series to Joliet against Washington 2 weeks ago. First time all season they've dropped back-to-back home series. They have not been great at home in the month of August for whatever reason, just 6-6 at home. Should have a better record on the road at the moment, 5-4 on the road in August. Lefty Hank Zeisler steps up and takes a first pitch strike at the letters, 1-0. You'd think it'd be far more of the opposite. Teams are really tired going on the road now and struggling to win, but oddly not the case. The Otters putting together last week their best 6-game road trip of the season, going 4-2. The 0-1 to Zeisler cut on and missed. 0-2. The Otters hope that their road success continues next week. They're going to play 7 games on the road next week. 4 games against Gateway, 3 against Schaumburg to finish the regular season. Otters will only play 50 home games this season instead of 51. A rain out in the last game of a series against Gateway. Is that playing that doubleheader next week, the makeup for that rain out here at Bosse. The 0-2 fouled off the screen, and Zeisler stays alive. To Zeisler. Popped up into left field. Mattis, a few steps in. Out is Khalil on the edge of the grass. Makes the catch on a ball that didn't carry far. 2 outs in the 4th. Brings up Jeremiah Burks. 4 in a row retired by Braden Scott. He's allowed just 1 hit today. It was the home run by Fuentes in the 3rd. 5 walks, including walking home run in the 1st inning. Side steps and the pitch to Burks. Popped up off the end of the bat right side. Quiggle racing back over his head and foul. 0-1. Well, Scott's made so many starts here at Bosse. Now 5 of his first 7 starts of the season here at Bosse Field. And he's had family at every one of them. Got a chance to chat with a few members of his family in the concourse before the game. Or grabbing some grub. 0-1 on the inside corner. 0-2 to Burks. They're easy to spot. They're always wearing Braden Scott t-shirts or Otters jerseys, IU gear. Always here to support their son. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Burks strikes out on a fastball up. It's a 1-2-3 4th for Braden Scott, and he has 3 strikeouts through 4. Middle of the 4th, 3-2 Otters over the Y'alls on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
It's time to show us your best smiles for the Paramount Dental Smile Cam. Over 300,000 members trust Paramount Dental, based right here in the Hoosier state of Indiana. Paramount Dental has been ensuring smiles for more than 37 years. Keep on smiling with Paramount Dental. And as we're smiling on those ODU cameras, be sure to check out Frontier League and the Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. Ascension St. Vincent is proud to support the Evansville Otters. If you or a loved one is experiencing symptoms of a stroke, every second counts. Ascension St. Vincent Stroke Centers and emergency rooms deliver advanced stroke care 24/7. Learn more at ascension.org. Florence called the bullpen. 55, Ross Thompson into pitch. That battery, Thompson is on the mound. Richardson behind the plate. Fired by the answer auto repair fees 2319 North River Road 812-475-9000. Tell them. Same from the Otters to you. Third baseman, number 28, Yomar Reyes.
Bottom 4 on a Friday night from Bosse Field. Little Friday night lights. On the last Friday, you could say, the summer. September a week away. 3-2 lead for the Otters over the Y'alls. New pitcher into the ballgame for Florence on a bullpen day. Ross Thompson, the first arm out of the bullpen. Thompson making his 5th appearance of the season. 1-2 record in 10 innings pitched. 9.90 ERA, has 11 strikeouts to 4 walks. Righty pitcher comes home to Reyes, who slices it foul right side. Thompson, one of the many young rookie pitchers on the Y'alls staff. He pitched against the Otters. The last series these teams faced, it did not fare well. Allowed 5 hits and 5 runs as Reyes chops one foul off the end of the bat, 0-2. Ended up earning the loss in that 11-2 win for the Otters. He pitched an inning scoreless against Lake Erie on Tuesday. Bullpen day for the Y'alls. Carter Puri got the start, going 3 innings, which tied his season long. He needed 65 pitches to do it, as the Otters with a lot of good long at-bats to get Puri's pitch count up. 0-2. Check swing by Reyes. He couldn't hold up on a pitch falling out of the zone. 1 away. There's a Boston Bosse. 1 out, nobody on, bottom 4. Otters lead 3-2. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. Florence 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors. Thompson working out of the stretch even though nobody on. Back perpendicular as he gets the sign. Stands up and fires home. Bounces in the dirt, 1-0 to Bosse. Sun is set, it's dark out, but in the midst of this calamitous heat wave, there's little relief. Still 89 degrees. So here's the 1-0 inside. 2 balls and no strikes with a real field temperature. It's still 98 degrees. It feels like 98 degrees out, and the sun has gone down. It's just madness. Will be better tomorrow. Tomorrow's high, the temperature it is right now, 89. Bosse takes a strike, 2-1. That'll mean a little bit cooler by the evening if you've been staying in the house all week. Tomorrow evening here at Bosse, the last Saturday night of the season, might be a good night to come out to the ballpark. 2-1. Bosse grounds foul left side, 2-2. The Teacher Appreciation Night brought to you by the EVSC Foundation tomorrow evening for 6:35. First pitch. Sunday supposed to be down in the 70s. Enjoy some Sunday afternoon baseball. Be Warwick County and Little League Day at the ballpark. And of course, the last dog days of summer of the season on a Sunday with discounted hot dogs and dogs encouraged. 2-2 misses low and a full count to Bosse. Just 2 more home regular season games remaining here at Bosse. The Otters hoping to play their first home playoff game here at Bosse since 2019. First, they have to make it to the playoffs. Bosse will go to first. A pitch clock violation on Thompson for ball 4. It was a full count. And the pitch clock violation walks Bosse to first. It's just weird how some things you don't see for 85 games, and then suddenly you start seeing them. I haven't seen that all year. A pitch clock violation on a pitcher to walk a batter. That's the 3rd time it's happened in the last 3 games here at Bosse. Thompson running out of time, and Bosse takes his base. Bosse stood first with 1 out, brings up George Khalil, who's 0 for 1 today, a strikeout. Big righty Thompson on the bump, comes home. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. A lot of fans I see enjoying ice cream tonight. Had a little bit myself before the game. Got some great flavors here at Bosse Field. 1-0. Grounded foul left side, 1-1. A little salted caramel today. Some chocolate chunks in the ice cream. It was perfect. It was both cooled me down, and it gave me a much-needed sugar rush. The oppressive heat makes you so tired. Ice cream is the perfect medicine. Thompson steps off, throws back to first, sliding in safely. Head first slide back in, Austin Bosse. 1-1. Khalil pops it up off the end of the bat. Fuentes, the third baseman, drifting over into foul territory, circles under the baseball, reaches up the glove, and makes the catch. 2 outs in the 4th. 2 away, Bosse at first. It brings up Gary Mattis.
Left fielder number 45, Gary Mattis.
3-2 Otters lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Dakota Phillips, a go-ahead 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, putting the Otters in front. It's been a back-and-forth ball game to start. A run apiece for each team in the 1st. Florence got 1 in the 1st. Phillips answering with 2. Austin Bosse is caught on a rundown at 1st. They'll toss over to Jeremiah Burks, the second baseman, at 2nd, and he tags out Bosse to end the inning. Pitch came into Mattis high for a ball, and then Bosse was caught leaning the wrong way down the first base line, and Richardson threw down to catch him in a rundown. Ends the 4th. 1 walk, that's all for the Otters. After 4 innings, it's Evansville 3, Florence 2 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
In your Southwest Graphics, Evansville Otter Bells.
Have you seen Evan the Otter around lately? Make sure you tell him hello when you do. Evan's excited to see all of our fans and encourages you to visit Heritage Strong Beer Bank Convenience. Heritage Strong partner of Evansville Otters baseball. Rosario now in right field for the Evansville Otters. Shortstop 6 Ed Johnson leading off.
Top 5 from Bosse Field. 3-2 lead for the Otters over the Y'alls. And Johnson leads off for Florence in the top of the 5th and takes a first pitch strike from Braden Scott. It's pitch number 74 of the night for Braden. 0-1 to Johnson. Popped up right side. Quiggle racing over, shielding the lights from his eyes, and it ball bounces off the roof. Foul 0-2. 4 innings pitched for Scott. He's allowed 2 earned runs on 3 strikeouts and 5 walks. Really bounced back nicely after a concerning first inning where he walked 4 batters, walking a run home. Since then has allowed just 2 base runners, a home run and a walk. 0-2, swing and a miss. Johnson chases a fastball up. 1 away in the 5th.
That's a German-American Bank strikeout.
It's strikeout number 4 for Braden Scott. To the top of the order, and Lane Hoover is 0 for 2 today. Just 1 hit allowed by Scott. He hasn't allowed a hit in play. So Fuentes home run in the 3rd. Side steps and delivers. A fastball at the letters for a strike 0-1. Hot conditions. For whatever reason, it's making the cicadas a lot louder, and they're omnipresent now here in Evansville, it seems like. The 0-1, lunge foul by Hoover, 0-2. Gets quiet here at the ballpark. You can hear the cicadas singing. It's not very pleasant singing. More like a screech, really. They're everywhere, too. There's a couple dead ones lying in the clubhouse today. I found one buzzing around my house as well a couple days ago. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Slider up in the zone. Strikes out Hoover. 2 away. That was nasty from Scott. 74-mile-per-hour slider. Front door slider. Back-to-back Ks here in the 5th for Scott. 5 strikeouts. 2 outs, nobody on. Brian Fuentes comes to the plate. He scored both runs today for the Y'alls. Walking the first game around to score on the solo home run in the 3rd. Scott home. Fuentes fouls it away.
The Red Call brought to you by His Construction Shoes, the best, never regret it.
Deep breath by Scott. And the 0-1 to Fuentes. Popped up off the end of the bat and foul 0-2. Cicadas, they're big too. They're a lot bigger than I expected them to be. Big wings. A little bit scary. Just look up and find one lying on your table, buzzing around. Boy, do they make quite a noise, and they've suddenly, with this heat wave, appeared everywhere and are creating quite a disturbance here across southwest Indiana. 0-2. Fuentes fouls off the screen to stay alive. Scott trying for his 4th quality outing of the season and just his 7th start, coming off a dominant 7-inning performance Saturday at Washington when he allowed just 1 run. 2 of his starts this season, he's ran into trouble in the 6th inning towards the back end of his starts. Did a really good job of finishing his start against Washington on Saturday as the Otters won 2-1. 0-2. High, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scott was signed by the Otters on July 22nd, and with some of the changes that have come about, the Otters starting rotation over the last month plus, he's become a key cog and one of the Otters' better arms in the rotation. 1-2. Just missed low on a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Fuentes. Start thinking if the Otters make the wild card game in the playoffs, who would be the starting pitcher? Scott would have to be a candidate, especially for a team like Schaumburg that has a lefty-heavy lineup. 2-2, popped up by Fuentes into left field. Gary Mattis jogging in under the baseball, makes the catch to retire the side in the 5th. Braden Scott in a groove. He's retired 8 in a row. Middle of the 5th, Otters in front, 3-2 on a hot Friday night from Bosse Field on the Otters Digital Network.
So great of you, Evansville.
Back in the Pocket City on a hot Friday night. A 3-2 lead for the Otters over the Y'alls in the final series of the year here at Bosse. Otters magic number of 5 to make the Frontier League playoffs. Hoping for a win tonight. Joliet is trailing at the moment at Windy City 2-1, top 6. The south side of Chicago, Otters magic number could be down to 3 entering tomorrow to get back to the Frontier League playoffs. Gary Mattis will lead things off for the Otters here in the bottom of the 5th. Ross Thompson will remain on the bump for Florence for a second straight inning on a bullpen evening for Florence. Carter Puri going 3 innings. Thompson worked a 1-2-3 fourth and walked a batter, checked that in the fourth, and then ended up facing the minimum as Austin Bosse was picked off. Mattis takes a first pitch strike, 0-1 count to the righty outfielder. 0-1, check swing by Mattis, and he went around on a ball in the dirt, 0-2. Mattis had a double off the wall yesterday, 1 for 5, making his 11th start of the season. Similar position to Braden Scott, both former Otters with a lot of success, were signed by affiliated organizations and both cut over the last month and joining the Otters for the stretch run. The 0-2 bounces into the Otters dugout. Austin Bosse makes a nice play off the netting, catching it with his right hand. One, 2 from Thompson. Check swing by Mattis. He went around, ball in the dirt, and Richardson tags him out. 1 out. Otters manager Andy McCauley. What a job he's done here in Evansville. The Otters, with a win tonight, will clinch a season, a 500 season. It will, if the Otters win tonight, make it 11 straight seasons for the Otters under Andy McCauley with a 500 or better season. His first pitch to Noah Myers sails high for a ball. All the way since 2013. 1-0 coming to Myers. Grounded to right side. Second baseman Burks is there to collect. Tosses the second, 2 away. The Otters trying to get back to the playoffs as well, something they could do this weekend. They made the playoffs in 5 of their last 6 seasons under Andy McCauley. Every season 500 or better since 2013. Andy McCauley took over the middle of the 2010 season. Took over a struggling Otters team that was consistently finishing under 500 and has turned them into a winner. Griffin Skinder takes the first pitch, strike, 0-1. One to Skinder, pulled outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. A Dakota Phillips 2-run home run in the third, giving the Otters a 3-2 lead. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors for the Otters. 2 runs on just 1 hit, no errors for Florence. 1-1. Oh, look out. It's towards the head of Skinder. He dives down onto the dirt to avoid being struck near the head. 2-1. Two-one to Skinder. Grounded left side, right to the third baseman Fuentes. He collects, throw to first, airmailed over the head of Massey and back to the backstop. Skinder will head to second and hold there as it's picked up by Massey by the Otters bullpen. Fuentes totally airmailing it a foot over the head at least of Craig Massey at first. And the expansive foul territory here at Bosse Field, always an overthrow is costly. Sometimes even allows 2 extra bases. Skinder reaching on the E5 and will go to second base. Now bring up Dakota Phillips. Already has 3 RBIs tonight. He's responsible for all 3 Otters runs. Brought Skinder home on a ground out in the first and then a 2-run homer in the third. First pitch to Phillips is chopped foul, 0-1. As mentioned earlier, but if you weren't with us, Dakota Phillips moving into the second most RBIs in career history in Otters franchise history with 106 runs batted in his 4 years in Evansville. Passing Josh Allen with his 2-run home run. The 0-1 swing and a miss, 0-2. Only behind John Schultz's 220, certainly among Otters legends with Josh Allen and John Schultz, 2 of the best that have ever done it here at Bosse. Skinder at second with 2 outs, 0-2 count to Phillips. Grounds it foul back to the backstop. Been a special Otter career for Phillips. Joined the team in 2019. Last year was the heart and soul of the Otters. Hit .313 with 11 home runs. Was out for most of the second half of the season with a broken hand. The 0-2, a flare left side off the glove of Fuentes. Falls back on the dirt, picks it back up. Throw to first in time to get Phillips. Wow, Fuentes makes up for his error by batting down that baseball and somehow collecting to throw out Phillips down the first base line and beating him by a millisecond. Otters strand one in the fifth on no errors, no runs. After 5, it's Otters 3, Y'alls 2 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Once we do that, we've got to build our sub, put all the ingredients together in the buns, delivered to our Otter Bell. On your, get set, go! Jackson here at first base, and a round of applause for Mason as well for Jersey Mike's build a sub. You know it's the only way to top a sub with that real red wine vinegar made from red grapes, no food coloring. The only way to get it at Jersey Mike's. Authentic ingredients, make a sub above at 939 North Burkhart Road in Evansville.
Ascension St. Vincent is proud to support the Evansville Otters. Ensure heart healthy. Cardiologists and surgeons at Ascension St. Vincent care for more hearts than any other health system in Indiana. Talk to your doctor about scheduling a heart screening to help you understand your risk for heart disease. Designated hitter 70, Brennan Price.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Working Distributors Evansville. Top 6, Brennan Price leads off for Florence. Evansville leads Florence 3-2. Dakota Phillips has batted in all 3 runs for the Otters, including a 2-run home run in the third, and the Otters holding on to a 1-run lead. Scott home. A check swing foul off the end of the bat of Price. It's a fair ball picked up by Reyes at third. Throw to first in time. Yomar Reyes, what a play from the big third baseman. A fist bump from the pitcher, Braden Scott. Check swing off the end of the bat. Rolled fair down the line. And Reyes, what a play to barehand it and a throw on the money to just beat Price. 1 out in the 6th, and Braden Scott is dealing now on the mound. 86 pitches here in the 6th inning, and he has retired 9 in a row. First pitch to Massey, the lefty takes high 1-0. And you walk 4 batters in the first inning, and you're certainly worried about your starter, but Scott, such a mentally strong player, has calmly bounced back since then. Just 2 base runners allowed. The 1-0 to Massey in for his strike at the letters 1-1. Maybe a little reminiscent of his last start at Washington. He allowed a first batter of the game he faced, Anthony Brocato of Washington, one of the top power bats in the league, hit a solo blast off him, 1-1. A slider on the outside corner for a strike 1-2. Scott came right back. He retired the next 12 batters he faced. Only allowed 3 base runners over those last 7 innings of work, and ended up helping the Otters do a 2-1 win. 1-2 home. Outside corner, ring him up. Slider catches Massey looking 2 away. Strikeout number 6 for Scott. Strutting around the mound. He's in a rhythm now. And Braden Stott starts cooking. It's typically lights out for the opposing batters. The slurve, the slider, the command is on. Becomes a uber confident pitcher with nasty stuff. 2 outs, nobody on for Zade Richardson. A slurve on the inside corner for his strike to the righty catcher. Former Indiana Hoosier had great success there under head coach Jeff Mercer. A Big Ten championship. 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. You've seen some of the highest levels of professional baseball. Scott was in spring training in Dunedin, Florida with the Toronto Blue Jays to start the year and played with the Vancouver Canadians in single A. His A game this season for the Otters has been beautiful to watch. 0-2 to Richardson. Swing and a miss. My goodness, Braden Scott, fastball up, strikes out Richardson. 7 strikeouts through Scott through 6. He's retired 11 in a row. Middle of the 6th, 3-2, Otters over the Y'alls on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Answer of the season.
Bottom of the 6th inning from Bosse Field, a 3-2 Otters lead. It's been about 2 players tonight for the Otters. Dakota Phillips is batted in 3, a 2-run home run, and Braden Scott absolutely dealing on the mound right now for the Otters. 11 in a row retired, 7 strikeouts over 6 innings, and has allowed just 1 hit today. Hasn't allowed a hit on a ball that's in play, just a solo home run given up to Brian Fuentes. And the Otters holding on to a 3-2 lead. Evansville's going to use a pinch hitter here, and Brian Rosario is going to pinch hit for Jeffrey Baez. Switch hitter batting lefty, pitch home to Rosie. This is outside 1-0. Baez was hit on the hand in his last at-bat, and he's sitting with his jersey off now in the Otters dugout. 1-0, a strike of the knees, 1-1 to Rosario. Rosie coming off the bench. He was 0 for 4 yesterday with the hit by pitch, hitting .232 on this season. He has 45 stolen bases on the year. 1-1 is lined up the middle, off the second base bag, over the head of Johnson at short and into center. Base hit for Rosario, hit it right off the left side of the second base bag. Would have been a hit even if it sailed over it. Caromed over the head of the shortstop Johnson. 98 off the bat, and Rosario's got a chance to add to his stolen base tally here. 4th hit of the night for the Otters, trying to extend their 3-2 lead. Pitch home to Conaquiggle. A strike at the letters, 0-1. Rosario with 45 stolen bases. The Otters' single season record is 50. Thompson sets below the belt, steps off, pickoff throw back to first is a good one. Head first slide by Rosario, just back in safely. Got a big oven mitt on the left hand of Rosario, used for sliding into the base. Big 4-stride lead over at first, with Massey holding him on the back. 0-1, Rosario takes off, pitches low, throw down to second is a good one, in time. Perfect throw by Zade Richardson, and Johnson, the shortstop, applies the tag to beat Rosario. Couldn't have asked for a better throw from Richardson. He had a great one. Noah Myers stole second, was just called safe. Rosario thrown out. Just the 7th time this season Rosario has been caught stealing. Quiggle swings and misses, and it's 1-2. One out, and now the base is cleared. 1-2 count to Quiggle. Thompson working out of this stretch even with nobody on. His back basically at 90 degrees as he reaches down to look for the sign from Richardson. 1-2 home. Chopped off the end of the bat and a trickler foul. Another check of the WJPS 107.1 out-of-town scoreboard. A lot of key games tonight, including affecting the Otters. Washington in a must-win game at Lake Erie. They lead 4-1, top 9 in Avon. A pitch clock violation is going to be called here on Thompson. That's his 2nd pitch clock violation. So a ball awarded, and it's 2-2 to Quiggle. 2-2 home. Misses low and a full count. Schaumburg leads 4-3, bottom 5th at Wintrust Field, with the top 2 teams in the West facing off. Colin Sullivan on the bump tonight as the payoff home. Swung on and missed. 2 away. 2 outs, bases empty as Yomar Reyes will come to the plate. Sullivan, one of the top pitchers in the Frontier League. He's looking for win number 11 tonight. Boomers have hit him, though. 6 runs on 4 hits. Chase Dawson, one of the best players in the league, has 2 hits off of him, but Jarris Richards has 2 hits of his own for Gateway, and it's a tight ball game in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch to Reyes, sails outside for a ball, 1-0. Windy City still in front of Joliet, 3-2 lead for the Thunderbolts over the Slammers, bottom 6 at Ozinga Field. 1-0, popped up by Reyes into the right side of the infield. Second baseman Burks under the baseball, reaches up and makes the catch to retire the side. Thompson faces the minimum for a 2nd straight inning out of the bullpen. We've completed 6 innings of baseball tonight at Bosse Field. It's the Otters 3, the Y'alls 2 on the Otters Digital Network.
Skip the line or back to the of your own home. The self-service options and Heritage. Heritage and Round Parker of Evansville Otters baseball.
Six innings of baseball played on a hot Friday night from Evansville. Otters holding on to a 3-2 lead. We're into the top of the 7th, and Braden Scott working on something special tonight. Got off to not the most auspicious start as Scott walked 4 batters in the first inning, walked a batter home, but he's been close to perfect since. He's allowed just 2 base runners, a home run, and a walk in the 3rd. He struck out 7 batters and has retired the last 11 he's faced against a Florence offense that can be potent. Y'all scored 10 runs last night and 22 runs over their last 2 games against Lake Erie. Harrison DeNicola, lefty batter, will lead off for Florence. Scott comes home. DeNicola takes a strike at the knees. Scott trying to complete 7 innings for a 2nd straight start. He went 7 against Washington in his last outing on Saturday and allowed just 4 hits. 0-1, slider misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Just 1 hit for Florence, the solo home run by Fuentes. 1-1 to DeNicola. Grounded right side over his Skinner to collect on the edge of the right field. Grass tosses to first to beat DeNicola. 1 out. For a landscape design that is truly unique, look to locally owned Wild Horticulture. Whether you need a team to design and construct a large-scale landscape project for your business, or looking to create an epic backyard retreat complete with plants, water, and light installation, the experienced team at Wild can take your ideas to the next level. You've likely seen their creative work all over town. Wild Horticulture has the skills and resources to deliver inspiring spaces and bring your ideas to life. Have a project in mind? Find them on Instagram at wildspaces.com. Hank Zeisler takes the first pitch high for a ball. Lefty batter facing the lefty Scott. 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 7th. 3-2 Otters lead. 1-0 pitch. A front door slider just misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. We see more of the slider today from Scott. A little bit less of the slurve, which is a slider curveball mix. A more just straight horizontal break. 2-0. Outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Zeisler. Three out to Zeisler. On the outside corner for a strike, 3-1. Back to the WJPS 107.1 scoreboard. A few other scores tonight. Tri-City leading New York 5-3, top 7 in that big matchup in Pomona. 3-1. High ball 4. And Florence finally a base runner aboard, their first since the 3rd, as that ends a streak of 12 in a row retired by Scott. And it brings up the second baseman, Jeremiah Burks. Burks 0 for 2 today, struck out twice. Y'alls looking to rally tonight. The Otters holding on to a 3-2 lead. They trailed not once but twice in the first 3 innings. First pitch to Burks, chop foul to the left side of the third base back. Florence got 1 in the first. Otters answered with 1 of their own. Solo blast by Fuentes in the top of the 3rd gave Florence the lead back, but a Dakota Phillips 2-run home run, giving the Otters a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Scott steps off, throw back to first. Zeisler steps back on the back. Ottawa leads Empire State 7-5, top 9. Titans about to be eliminated, though, from playoff contention. Sussex County leading Quebec 2-1, top 8. Capitales and Jackals tied atop for first in the East. 0-1 inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Trois-Rivières, though, leading New Jersey 3-1, top 8 in Canada. That completes your out-of-town scoreboard check, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. 1-1, swing and a miss. 1-2 to Burks. Keep you updated on the proceedings with Joliet, Gateway and Schaumburg, as well as Washington. All games in the West impacting this Frontier League West playoff race here in the 3rd to last series of the season. 1-2 from Scott. Foul tipped off the screen. Scott looking to complete 7 strong tonight. Kevin Davis is starting to get warm in the Otters' pen. The 1-run lead for Evansville. Goal would probably be if they can get Scott through 7. Davis in the 8th, Polancic in the 9th. 1-2, foul tipped on a check swing back to the backstop, and Burke stays alive again. Scott now a career high, or a season high, I should say, though. 106 pitches. First time he's been over 100 this year in his 7th start. His high been 99 pitches in 2 different starts. Still going strong. 1 on, 1 out. Top 7. Otters lead 3-2. Scott working out of the stretch. Black glove sets at the belt. Kicks and fires. Low. 2-2 to Burks. Scott steps off, throws back to first, and Zeisler steps back on the bag again. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Evansville. 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 error for Florence. Y'alls have lost 7 of their last 8 games entering tonight, tied for last in the West. Scott steps off again, quick pickoff throw to first, and nearly got Zeisler. That was the 3rd disengagement, though, from Scott. He'd thrown over twice already. He tried a little sneaky pickoff throw to get Zeisler, but that was his 3rd time throwing over to first. So Zeisler gets to take his bag at second. Another thing, hadn't seen all year, happened earlier in this homestand, and now a 2nd time here at Bosse this week. 2-2. Burks again spoils off the screen. Long battle by Jeremiah Burks. Trying to fight, scrap, and claw here for Florence. Nothing left to play for this season except to be the spoiler. Another 2-2. Check swing and a ball in the dirt and a full count. Ed Johnson's on deck, who has a 14-game hit streak going, though he's 0 for 2 today. Tying run for Florence at second and Zeisler. Payoff coming from Scott. Peeks back at second and delivers home. Outside, ball 4. What an at-bat by Jeremiah Burks. Works a walk on 9 pitches, and that's going to do it for Braden Scott. Kevin Davis, who's been electric this year for the Otters coming into the ball game. Back-to-back walks by Scott, ended 12 in a row retired, but what an effort tonight by Braden Scott. His final line, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs allowed, 7 strikeouts. Did have 7 walks, but just 1 hit allowed. Kevin Davis coming into the ball game. 2 on, 1 out, top 7, 3-2. Otters lead the Y'alls on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. The big 6'9" righty, Kevin Davis, into the ball game for the Otters, holding on to a 3-2 lead for the Otters. 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 7th. Davis making his 38th appearance of the season, which leads the Otters. 2.25 ERA in 44 innings pitched. He's allowed just 11 earned runs this season, 68 strikeouts to 27 walks. He has more strikeouts than any other relief pitcher in the Frontier League. He has been electric in the month of August. 11 appearances in August. He has not allowed a run in 12 1/3 total innings pitched. To face the righty shortstop, Ed Johnson, here with 1 out. Zeisler at second, Burks at first, and the Otters holding on to a 3-2 lead here in the 7th. High set for Davis, peeks back at second, and the righty home. Flied foul right side. Davis, with one of his more electric outings his last time out against Joliet on Wednesday, came in with the bases loaded and nobody out and struck out the side on just 13 pitches for a magical 1 inning of work. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Johnson. Davis just threw straight gas. He didn't throw anything else but a fastball on that outing, and Joliet just couldn't catch up to his fastball. That clock's up to 97. 1-1 count with 1 out and 2 on. Davis delivers low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnson 0 for 2 today with a pop out and a strikeout. It's a 14-game hit streak on the line. Davis working out of the stretch, looking in for Phillips for the sign. Pitch clock is winding down here, and he steps off at the last moment to call time. He was oh so close to a pitch clock violation, and that would have been big for ball number 3, already behind 2-1. Two 2-1 from Davis. High, 3 balls and 1 strike to Johnson. Top of the order, and Lane Hoover is on deck. Otters holding on to a 3-2 lead in the top of the 7th. Three 1, outside corner, strike 2. 92 on the gun from Davis, and it's a full count to Johnson. What a big pitch in this ball game. Davis working on the first base side of the rubber. Spinning the ball around in his right hand. Sets at the chest. The payoff home. Lunged foul by Johnson. Poked out a play to the right side. Zeisler and Burks were going, and they'll both have to head back to their bats. Zeisler at second, Burks at first. 1 out, top 7. Otters holding on to a 3-2 lead. This series opener in the final home series of the season here at Bosse Field. Second payoff of this at bat upcoming. Davis home, outside, ball 4. Fastball missed low and outside to Johnson. The walk loads the bases. No hits in the inning for Florence. They still have only 1 hit in this ball game. And yet they have loaded the bases here in the 7th inning with 1 out, and the leadoff batter, Lane Hoover, comes to the plate. Just 28 walks for Davis this season in 44 innings pitched. Lefty Hoover 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a strikeout. First pitch home. This is low, 1-0. Scott walked 7 batters, and now Davis comes in. It's the 8th walk of the game for Otters pitching. Davis at the chest, kicks, fires. A breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Went to the changeup the first time. Davis not throwing a fastball. Zeisler at third, Burks at second, Johnson at first. 1 out, top 7. Otters holding on to a 3-2 lead. 1-1 to Hoover. Swing and a miss. Stuck with the breaking ball. The changeup falling off the plate, and Hoover was ahead 1-2. Does Davis go back to the fastball now? Davis sets, delivers. Chopped up the middle. It'll fall for a base hit. 1 run will score. Burks is sent home. The throw's cut off by Quiggle. Florence takes the lead. A 2 RBI base hit for Lane Hoover up the middle makes it 4-3 Florence. Davis stuck with the changeup, and Hoover poked it up the middle. Just the 2nd hit of the game for the Y'alls, but they have 4 runs tonight. Burks got a great jump, good speed, and easily safe as the throw was cut off by Quiggle at the mound. First pitch to Brian Fuentes, misses high and tight, 1-0. Johnson at second, Hoover at first with 1 out. Here in the top of the 7th, Florence has taken a 4-3 lead. 1-0 from Davis outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Goes back to back-to-back fastballs and misses. And the Otters are going to start getting their bullpen going again. Evansville only used 1 reliever last night. Parker Brahms was brilliant. 3 2/3 innings pitched, didn't allow a base runner. 2-0 Fuentes. A changeup at the knees for a strike. 2-1. 2 in the 7th to take the lead for Florence. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 7th. The Otters with 1 in the 1st and a 2-run home run by Phillips in the 3rd. Evansville has just 4 hits tonight off one of the worst pitching staffs in the league. 2-1, cut on and missed. Back to the fastball at 93, 2-2 to Fuentes. Two from Davis. High and a full count. Johnson at second, Hoover at first. Full count with 1 out in the 7th to Fuentes. Davis home. Swing and a miss. Fuentes swings through the fastball for the 2nd out of the 7th, and boy, did the Otters and Davis need that. 2 away, and now it becomes big man on big man action as Brennan Price, the big 6'9 slugger, faces the big 6'9 pitcher and Kevin Davis. Which giant wins the battle here? Nearly combined 14 feet between these two. It'd be tall enough to be a giraffe. First pitch to Price is cut on and missed. Huge swing, and Price stumbles over the plate. Needed the bat to balance himself to avoid falling down. 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Davis trying to get the last out of the 7th and keep it just a 1-run lead for the Y'alls. 0-1 to Price. High again, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hot Friday night, the final Friday game of the season here at Bosse Field. The Otters trying to get another step closer to making the Frontier League playoffs. 1-1 to Price. At the knees, strike 2. Fastball at 93 again. Just 2 hits today for Florence. Just 4 hits for the Otters, but a 4-3 lead for the Y'alls. 1-2 from Davis. Swing and a miss. Kevin wins the battle of giants. A fastball up, strikes out Price, and 2 strikeouts ends the inning in the 7th. A RBI, 2 RBI base hit though by Lane Hoover puts Florence in front in the 7th. We'll stretch at Bosse 4-3. Y'alls over the Otters on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, and we'll root for the Otters. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Nicely done. Let's get some runs.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is presented by Bud Light. Couldn't be much better than a cool one on a hot summer's night like tonight. Midst of a heat wave here at the end of August, the third to last series of the Frontier League season, the final of the year here at Bosse Field for the Otters. They're going to need a comeback tonight. They trail 4-3 to Florence. It's been a back-and-forth ball game. A go-ahead 2 RBI base hit for Lane Hoover, putting the Y'alls in front. Austin Bosse will lead off for the Otters, bottom 3 in Evansville's lineup. 7, 8, and 9 will face Ross Thompson out for his third inning of work. It's been nice work by Thompson. Bosse swings at the first pitch and pops it up into shallow left. Shortstop Johnson back, reaches up the glove and makes the catch a couple steps out onto the grass. 1 pitch, 1 out for Thompson. Gotta love what Ross Thompson has done. This is his 4th inning of work. Came in the 4th, and he has not had a lot of success this season. His rookie year, but he has been dealing tonight for the Y'alls. Only 3 base runners have reached on his tab, 1 in each inning, a walk, an error, and a base hit. And with players being picked off or thrown out, he's faced the minimum in all 3 innings. It's just that next pitch will be his 40th here in his 4th inning of work. George Khalil took a first pitch high, the 1-0 to the righty shortstop, a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. As long as Thompson keeps on going, the Y'alls will just ride him. A tired staff that gave up 14 runs last night in a 14-10 loss to Lake Erie. 1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2 to Khalil. The Otters just frustrating right now. They hit the lights out of the ball against the Y'alls at their place, but they, for some reason, can't seem to hit the Florence pitching here at Bosse Field. Otters scored 33 runs against Florence just a week and a half ago at Thomas More Stadium in Florence as Khalil takes inside 2-2. They scored 31 runs the first series against the Y'alls in late June at Thomas More. But here at Bosse in early August, the Otters were held to just 11 over 3 games. The 2-2 misses inside, and it's a full count to Khalil. Payoff home. Breaking ball right down the heart of the plate. Strike 3. Pretty by Thompson. A changeup that fluttered and fell into the zone. One of the better pitches seen all night. 2 up, 2 down in the 7th. That brings up Gary Mattis. He's 0 for 2 today. Base is empty for the Otters. They have just 4 hits tonight. They have hit for the team cycle as Mattis takes low 1-0, but it's just 1 apiece. Triple by Skinner in the first, 2-run home run by Phillips in the 3rd, double by Quiggle later in the 3rd, and then a base hit by Rosario in the 6th. 1-0, misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. It's just been a quiet week for Otters offense. Don't have more than, they have exactly 8 hits in fact in their first 3 games. Each 8 hits. The 2-0 misses inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Mattis. Not the explosive Otters offense that Evansville had last week at Florence and continued over for a couple of the games at Washington. 3-0, right down the middle, taken all the way. 3-1 to Mattis. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom 7, Otters trail 4-3. Thompson home. Breaking ball taken for strike 2. Change up again, just flutters for a second and then falls in to the top of the zone. Payoff to Mattis. Sails high, ball 4. Thompson started to walk off the mound and back to the dugout. That certainly looked like strike 3. Ackertech says it was strike 3, but Mike O'Leary calls ball 4. That could be a big call in this game. Gary Mattis takes a walk, has good speed, and it brings up Noah Myers. 0 for 2 today, a walk in the 3rd for one of the hottest hitters in the league. Hitting .394 in the month of August as an 8-game hit streak, but 0 for 2 today. First pitch home to the reigning Frontier League Player of the Week. High for ball 1. has 6 multi-hit days in the month of August. And on-base percentage over 500 this month. 1-0 is fouled off the screen, 1-1. He's been especially dominant against righty pitchers. 357 batting average this season. They're in game number 80-something for Myers, hitting 357 against righty batters. Unbelievable number. Thompson, the righty, delivers high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Mattis at first, 2 outs, bottom 7. Otters trail 4-3. Two one home. Mattis takes off. It's foul tipped by Myers off the end of the bat and back to the dugout. And Mattis will have to go back to first. 2-2 count to Myers. Joliet now trailing big against Windy City. 6-2 lead for the Thunderbolts. Bottom 8 from Mozinga Field. Thunderbolts are 3 outs away from helping out the Otters. And lowering Evansville's magic number by at least 1 tonight. The Joliet loss. Thompson spins around, pickoff throw to first, and Mattis a head-first slide back in safely. Otters 5.5 up on the Slammers for the last playoff spot in the West. 6.5 up on Washington. Thompson kicks and throws. Myers pops it up into right. Back is Hoover at the track, looking up. Goodbye! Noah Myers does it again in the month of August. A go-ahead 2-run home run, and the Otters are back in front 5-4. He took a ball off the dirt and just clubbed it over the right field wall. A golf swing. Everything is clicking for Myers. His 17th home run of the season. Just playing on a different planet than everyone else right now. And even though the ball was way outside of the zone, Myers barrels it up and it soars over the right field wall. First pitch to Ethan Skinder is fouled straight back. The fireworks to celebrate the home run were a little bit late and set off right as the Y'alls pitcher Thompson was throwing, and he kind of stumbled on the mound in surprise as the boom went off. Got a strike in anyways. The 0-1 misses low. 1-1. So back and forth we go. Dakota Phillips a go-ahead 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. 2 RBI base hit for Lane Hoover in the top of the 7th. Noah Myers comes back with a 2-run home run to right here in the 7th to give the Otters the lead back. With 2 strikes and 2 outs in the inning, too. Skinder swings and misses 1-2. It's been clutch hitting tonight by the 2 hottest Otters in August. Dakota Phillips is 3 RBIs and a go-ahead 2-run home run by Noah Myers. 1-2, pulled outside, 2-2. Both Myers and Phillips had 2 home runs against Florence last week, both historic days in the series finale of that series. Noah batted in 7 RBIs, which is the 2nd most in an Otters game in franchise history. And Dak had 6 hits, which was tied for the 2nd most in Otters single game history. 2-2 to Skinder inside. He leans back out of the way. He nearly nailed, and a full count. 61 pitches now for Ross Thompson, working here in his 4th inning. Hadn't given up a run until the 2-run homer by Myers. Payoff to Skinder. Inside, ball 4. Walk for Skinder. He's aboard for the 3rd time today. Keeps the inning going and brings up Dakota Phillips. And it will bring out the pitching coach, Kyle Craigie. So the Otters have retaken the lead. Washington has beaten Lake Erie 4-2. Joliet losing 6-2 in the bottom of the 8th. So a Slammers loss, a Wild Things win. Those teams have the same record and will both be the Otters win, both 6.5 back of the Otters for the last playoff spot. Evansville's magic number is lowered to 3 going into tomorrow if the Otters can win tonight. Joliet loses and the Otters lose. The magic number goes down to 4. Gateway has retaken the lead over Schaumburg. 6-5 lead for the Grizzlies over the Boomers, bottom 6. A slow-moving game at Wintrust Field. A Grizzlies series win pretty much locks up the East Division, or the West Division for them. And the Otters, they do indeed get the 3 spot in the playoffs, would play Schaumburg. Be a rematch of last year's wildcard game. Meeting concludes. Dakota Phillips comes to the plate. Already a 2-run home run today. Pitch home from Thompson. Inside. Corner. Strike 1. Hot Friday night. Otters trying to take the series opener. They've lost 5 straight series openers. Hard to believe. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Down to second goes Skinder. Safe. And under the tag of Johnson. Great jump by Ethan Skinder. He has his 20th stolen base of the season. The Otters continue their base stealing tear. 2 today and 12 stolen bases in their last 5 games. Good throws by Zade Richardson, too. He threw out Brian Rosario earlier. Skinder in scoring position, and 0-2 to Phillips. Outside, 1-2. Under the lights on a Friday night. High school football is back. Summer baseball is coming to a close. Next weekend, Labor Day weekend, we'll wrap up the regular season in the Frontier League. 1-2 to Phillips. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thompson showing some frustrated body language now. Leans down in frustration, snaps back at the baseball as he receives it into his mitt. I wish this inning could have been done about 5 minutes ago. It was a strike away from finishing it before the Myers homer. The 2-2 misses high, and a full count. Thompson working out of the stretch. Payoff home. Looping breaking ball high. Ball 4. And the Otters have a golden opportunity now to add some insurance runs in the 7th. Back-to-back walks by Thompson. Skinder at second, Phillips at first, and Brian Rosario comes up for the 2nd time today. Pinch hit for Jeffrey Baez. Back in the 6th inning, he got a base hit. Switch hitter batting lefty. Thompson's at 68 pitches now, all in relief. Pitch home, a fastball on the inside corner, a strike 0-1. Rosario's had a bunch of his family in town, his mom, a couple of his brothers. Been cheering him on from the stands this week here at Bosse, making the trip in the San Francisco Bay Area. Hayward, 0-1. Clubbed off the end of the bat, over the head of the first baseman, Massey, and into right. Skinder will jog home and score without a throw. To third goes Phillips, an RBI base hit for Rosario. A 6-4 Otters lead, 3 across in the 7th. Another golf-like swing from Rosario on a pitch low in the zone. A blooper over the glove of the first baseman, Massey, plopping into right. With 2 outs, Skinder easily scores, and Phillips goes first to third. That's going to do it for Thompson. He was a strike away from 4 shutout innings, but the 2-run home run by Myers, 2 straight walks and a base hit, and he can't finish the 7th. Florence going back to the bullpen. Otters lead 6-4 in the 7th. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. The Southpaw Kent Kleiman into the ball game for Florence. Evansville 3 runs across in the 7th to take a 6-4 lead. They have 2 on with 2 out. Kleiman, the only lefty on Florence's roster, 4.59 ERA in 26 innings pitched, 33 and a third innings work, 32 strikeouts to 12 walks. He pitched against the Otters just last week in Florence, and as the Otters did to a lot of Y'alls pitchers last week, beat them up. 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 2 innings pitched. Kona Quiggle will lead off for the Otters against Kleiman. Phillips at third. Rosario might try for another stolen base. He's at first base. A 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run home run for Noah Myers, putting the Otters in front after back-to-back walks. A bloop base hit for Rosario into right, scratching across the 3rd run of the 7th for the Otters, and now in front 6-4. It's been a seesaw affair. Florence has had the lead 3 different times in this game. The Otters with the lead for the 2nd time tonight. Quiggle with a double back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Lefty on lefty matchup. Kleiman home. It's off the hand of Quiggle. Phillips comes jogging home in case the ball never hit the hand or the bat. It certainly did hit the hand of Quiggle. He checked his swing and held up, and this is going to load the bases. It's a similar play from earlier when Baez was hit on the hand and checked his swing, and Chad Rhodes believing again that Quiggle went around and it should just be called a strike. They do think he held up. That was the right call. All 3 umpires will converge to discuss things here. If Quiggle was indeed hit and held up, load the bases with 2 outs and bring up Yomar Reyes, the 9th batter of the inning. Six runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Otters. 4 runs on 2 hits, 1 error for Florence. They've benefited from walks tonight, but the Otters offense using power tonight. A 2-run home run by Phillips, 2-run home run by Myers, the two key blasts for Evansville. Long conversation here between James Purnell, Drew Taylor, and Mike O'Leary. And either you saw he went around or you didn't. I don't know what they're talking about now. And he did hold up. So Quiggle is hit, and it will load the bases. Confirm the call on the field. Second pitch the Otters have been hit by today, and both on the hands on check swings. So Rosario goes to second, Quiggle at first, Phillips at third, and it brings up Yomar Reyes with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and the Otters can basically put this game away with the swing of the bat here in the 7th. Up 6-4, 3 runs already across in the 7th, a swing away from a crooked number. Pitch home to Reyes. Inside, nearly hit him. He reached up his arms to avoid getting snagged by the fastball from Kleiman. Kleiman working out of the stretch on the 3rd base side of the rubber. High red socks with gray pants tucked just below the knees. Kicks and fires. Reyes fouls it off the screen, 1-1. Phillips at third, Rosario at second, Quiggle at first, 2 outs in the 7th. The Otters have had 6 straight batters reach, all with 2 outs. One to Reyes. Line into right center field. DeNicola and Hoover converging. DeNicola dives and makes the catch. Oh my. Harrison DeNicola with a Sports Center top 10 worthy grab in right field to really keep the game alive for Florence. That ball falls, 2 come across for the Otters. DeNicola, a Superman-esque diving catch in right for the 3rd out of the inning. The Otters score 3, though, in the 7th and retake the lead. It's a 6-4 Otter lead after 7 played on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
All right, Blue was our winner there. two, let's go. Oh, Elias with round two. That means he's our winner tonight. A round of applause for Elias and Luke. Sumo brought to you by Velvet Ice Cream, and you can get your Velvet Ice Cream behind third base concessions.
Leading off, first baseman 23, Craig Massey.
Welcome back to Evansville, Indiana. It's a 6-4 lead for the Otters over the Y'alls. We start the top of the 8th inning. Evansville looking to take the series opener over Florence, much closer to a playoff spot. First pitch to the lefty, Craig Massey. Sails high for a ball. Kevin Davis, who allowed the go-ahead 2 RBI base hit off the bat of Lane Hoover in the 7th, but then struck out the next 2 batters to end the inning. We'll start the 8th here. Back to an Otters lead in a safe spot as Massey takes a strike 1-1. Davis, the Otters would write it up like they prefer. Davis works a clean 8th, and Jake Polanczyk comes in to earn the save in the 9th now. 1-1 home. Popped up by Massey into left. A few steps back for Mattis, reaches up the glove and makes the backpedaling catch on the edge of the warning track. Balls are certainly carrying on this hot and humid night. One away in the 8th. Time to take a look at the upcoming schedules for both of these teams. Otters and the Y'alls will play 2 more, 6:35 Saturday night in the middle game of the series, and then 12:35 game on Sunday. Otters will then head to Gateway for 4 games against the Grizzlies to kick off a 7-game road trip to finish this season. Y'alls will head back home for their final home series against Schaumburg before finishing the season on the road. First pitch to Zade Richardson, misses inside for a ball. Righty batter with 1 out and nobody on, top 8. 6-4 Otters lead. Davis home, a changeup inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Davis fires home, a strike on the outside corner, 91-mile-per-hour fastball. Noah Myers and Dakota Phillips, the 2 hottest bats on the Otters, have led them tonight to a 6-4 lead. Otters have come back from a deficit twice tonight as Richardson swings and misses 2-2. 6 runs on 6 hits for the Otters, 2 2-run home runs. Y'alls have 4 runs on 2 hits and 1 error, as Evansville has walked 8 combined batters. 2-2 from Davis. Swing and a miss. Big fastball at 91. Strikes out Richardson, and Kevin Davis looking back to dominate here in the 8th. 2 quick outs, and it brings up the right fielder, Harrison DeNicola. Yoni De La Cruz, lefty all-star reliever for the Otters, is warming in their bullpen. Davis at 29 pitches, 4 outs. Is the first pitch to DeNicola, the lefty, is fouled off the screen. Davis has been so dominant this year. The only really critique you could make of him is when he goes into his 2nd inning of work, you see the velo slow a little bit, and he's been a hit a little bit more in his 2nd inning of work. A 1 high, 1 ball and 1 strike, trying to into his 2nd inning of work. Work a 1-2-3 8th inning and move the Otters 3 outs away from lowering their magic number to just 3 to make the Frontier League playoffs. 1-1 to DeNicola. Popped up into center field, racing in is Myers. Now takes a step back, reaches up the glove, and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Kevin Davis in the 8th, and the Otters are 3 outs away from victory. Middle of the 8th, 6-4 Evansville over Florence on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Some legends zip around the field. It's the A's and Legends zip. We have F.J. Wrights, Benjamin Bosse, and William Henry Harrison racing, but they each represent a row our honor bells have picked out. If that legend wins, so does that row. Legends, on your marks, get set, go! And they are off. Harrison with a great lead, followed by Bosse, followed by Wrights. It's a little hot out here, but we're picking up the speed. And it just might be officially Harrison as your winner with Bosse. Oh! And a spill at the end, but the head has crossed the finish line. Wrights also finishes. Congratulations to William Henry Harrison's row. You are a winner as well.
Looks like he got a dye job with the dirt on the back of the head.
It's a little dirty now.
Yes.
Bottom of the 8th inning, a 6-4 Evansville lead. The Otters 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. A go-ahead 2-run home run by Noah Myers, staying red hot to give the Otters a lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Evansville 3 outs away from victory. They'll look for some more insurance in the bottom of the 8th inning. Kent Kleiman, the lefty, will remain out on the bump for Florence in the 8th. He retired the last out in the 7th. Austin Bosse will lead off for the Otters, bottom 3 in Evansville's lineup. 6 runs on 6 hits for the Otters tonight. 1 in the first, 2 in the second on the Phillips 2-run home run, and then 3 in the 7th, with all 3 runs coming across with 2 outs. Bosse is 0 for 2 today with a walk, shows bunt, and lunges at 1 foul down the third base line. A 1 from Kleiman. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It is a final from Bosse Field. Windy City has beaten Joliet 6-2. The Otters' magic number is down to 4. They get 3 more outs tonight. Their magic number to make the playoffs down to 3. The 1-1 popped up foul, 1-2, and that would mean very real scenario for the Otters to have the opportunity to clinch on Sunday night. Sunday afternoon, actually. One, 2 to Bosse. Line foul off the screen. Bring the Otters' magic number down to 3. With Washington winning, it would mean that both Washington and Joliet's games tomorrow would factor into the Otters trying to clinch here at home. Otters clinched on the road, actually at Florence last year in the last week of the season. As time is called at the last moment. So you have to go back to last decade, the last time the Otters clinched here at home. Didn't make the playoffs in 2021. The Otters don't get it done by Sunday. It'll mean trying to clinch on the road, most likely at Gateway before a weekend at Schaumburg. 1-2 inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schaumburg has retaken the lead against Gateway. That's a really good ball game tonight. Imagine a playoff-like atmosphere at Wintrust Field. 7-6 Schaumburg lead in the 8th. 2-2, cut on and miss. Big fastball by Kleinman strikes out Bosse, and there's 1 away in the 8th. I have George Khalil, the Otters shortstop. 6-4 Otters lead. Called a historic night here at Bosse Field. A couple of historic marks. Ethan Skinner hit a triple for the 27th triple of the season for Evansville, tying a franchise record from last season for most triples in 28 years of Otters baseball. Khalil shows bunt, pulls it back. Pitch sails outside, 1-0. Dakota Phillips, 2-run home run, giving him 186 career RBIs, passing Josh Allen for the second most RBIs in franchise history. And Noah Myers, what can you say? The go-ahead 2-run home run. Khalil shows bunt and lays one down the third base side. Gloved by the third baseman Fuentes. He throws it away, and it rolls all the way back to the Otters bullpen. Khalil will jog down to second on a throwing error by Fuentes. It was a tricky play down the third base line. Kleinman decided, the pitcher, not to field it. He hopped over the ball, which I think only made it harder for Fuentes. Good job barehanding to get to the baseball, but he threw it well wide of Massey at first, back to the bullpen, and Khalil's in scoring position as an insurance run. He ruled an E5, second error today on Florence. Khalil at second as it brings up Gary Mattis, 0 for 2 with a walk. Burks, the second baseman, shaded up the middle behind the bag. Pitch home to Mattis, misses outside, 1-0. In my book, and I think a lot of people's books, Noah Myers is the runaway winner for Frontier League Rookie of the Year. 1-0 to Mattis, high again, 2 balls and no strikes. Jason Simitachi, Rookie of the Year award. It's been won by 3 Otters in franchise history. That's won by pitcher Taylor Wright back in 2019. 2-0. Popped up by Mattis in foul territory. Massey drifting over, and it will bounce out of his reach onto the warning track in the massive foul territory here in the River City. To me, I mean, Myers, I've heard some people even say could be in the category for MVP of the Frontier League. And almost certainly has to go to James Nelson of New Jersey at this point for the numbers he's put up. Sitting almost 400 and has over 100 runs on the season. Reset the pitch clock. The 2-1 count to Mattis, but Noah Myers top 10 in basically every single offensive category. And the heart and soul of an Otters team getting closer to the playoffs. The 2-1 by Mattis, bumped up right side and out of play, 2-2. Talk about a 5-tool player. Power, speed, consistency at the plate, defense, and patience for walks. Myers has all 5 of those skills. And arguably one of the best players in the league at all 5 of those skills. 2-2 is fouled off the screen. Entering today, 8th in hits, 6th in stolen bases. Tied for 3rd in runs, but he scored twice, so he's now 2nd most runs in the league, only behind 2 New Jersey Jackals, 81 runs on the year. Top 10 in walks, 8th in walks entering today, 7 in on-base percentage entering today, 4th in doubles. 2-2, swing and a miss, and Matt is down on strikes. Kleinman wins the long battle, 2 away. Khalil still at second, and just been raving about him. Here he comes, Noah Myers. 0 for 2 today, a walk and a home run. He has 2 runs. 81 runs on the season. He's now just 2 shy of Josh Allen for the most runs in an Otters single season. He might be able to break that over the next 2 games here at Bosse Field. Still a week left to play, potentially break a record. His first pitch to Myers, skips by the catcher Richardson, back to the backstop. Khalil around third, he'll try for home, diving home safely as the ball bounces under the glove of Kleinman. 7-4. How about George Khalil, full effort. Ball got by Richardson, he bobbled it. George never stopped at third, he just increased his speed, galloped home. Kleinman covered up home plate, and actually Khalil didn't touch the bag at first when he ran into Kleinman, but George had to reach over Kleinman's body to then touch home plate, and only then did Mike O'Leary signal him safe before Kleinman could recover the ball. So it's 7-4 Otters. They've added another run here in the 8th for some insurance as Evansville's closer Jake Polancic waits in their bullpen. 1-0 to Myers, a breaking ball on the inside corner, 1-1. So Noah 2 away from tying Josh Allen's record set in 2017 for the most runs in an Otters single season. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. See all the numbers that Noah has put up this year. Not only should he win Frontier League Rookie of the Year by a landslide, it might be the best rookie season in 28 years of Honors baseball. Having one of the most electric months possible, hitting just under 400 on the month and hitting over 500 on base percentage in August, as the 2-1 is found off the screen 2-2. I mean, you just sit here for hours and list incredible numbers and stats and facts about Noah Myers' season, and especially this month of August. Just a workman-like guy, too. Frontier League Commissioner Steve Tassler was out to hand him a plaque for winning Player of the Week. He was out there for about 5 seconds. He did not want to embrace an applause. He was ready to get back to stretching and focusing on the game. 2-2, full count as it misses outside to Myers. Guy committed to his craft, team leader as well, vocal leader in the clubhouse. Very much, it's been all season for Noah. Whatever happens, it's just on to the next day. Encapsulates an Otters team that's been very stable all year. Payoff home, inside ball 4. And he's aboard for a third time today, his second walk. Walk number 58 of the season for Noah Myers.
That's the Thier Sidewalk Cafe and Bar.
The inning continues here in the 8th. Myers at first, and Ethan Skinder comes to the plate. Ethan a triple back in the first. 1 for 2. He walked in the 7th and came around to score. The Otters have scored 4 unanswered to take a 7-4 lead here in the 8th. Myers at first with 2 outs. 3 in the 7th, 1 more in the 8th for an Otters lead. Lineman home. Pitch misses low to Skinder, 1-0. Three-stride lead at first for Myers. He'll take off. Great jump, pitch inside, throw down to second. Never stood a chance. Tagged by Johnson, or by Burks, make it a minute late. And Myers has his second stolen base of the night and stolen base number 37 on the season. That's now the 5th most stolen bases in the league. He's got 4 on the week. The 2-0 to Skinder is hammered right side and out of play. 7 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Otters. 4 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors for Florence. The Otters have come from behind from deficits not once but twice tonight, closing in on a series opening win over Florence and lowering their magic number to make the Frontier League playoffs to 3. The 2-1 home misses low, 3 balls and 1 strike. It is a Friday Night Lights here in late August, and a lot of high school football being played across the tri-state. 3-1 to Skinder. He is hammered into left field and down for a base hit. Myers will come around to score as Teisler bobbles it in left. It's 8-4 Evansville. An RBI base hit for Skinder, the 3rd run of the game for Myers, and he's now just 1 away from Josh Allen's 83 runs scored for the most in an Otters single season.
The catcher, number 7, Dakota.
Skinder's second hit of the game, and the Otters have blown it open here in the 8th. 2 across, it's 8-4 Evansville. Dakota Phillips will come to the plate. The base is empty. And the pitching coach, Kyle Craigie, out to talk with Kent Kleinman. What a difference about 30 minutes can make. The go-ahead 2 RBI base hit by Lane Hoover in the 7th. The Otters offense stagnant with just 4 hits. Florence back in front. Looked like it'd be a frustrating loss for a 2nd straight night for the Otters. Their offense woke up, and it was Noah Myers who kick-started it. 2 outs, 2 strikes on Myers with 1 on in the 7th. Hit a 2-run home run off Ross Thompson. Next 4 Otters batters would reach for another run across to chase Thompson from the game. And now Evansville scored 2 more here in the 8th for an 8-4 lead. Dak is 1 for 3 today, a 2-run home run in the 3rd, and walked back in the 7th. Lefty on lefty matchup. Lineman home. Phillips fouls it away. So as few high school football scores, including couple of Evansville versus Evansville matchups. Bosse all over Central. They lead 34-0 in the second quarter. Memorial leads North 10-0 in the second quarter. Oh, 1 to Phillips. Popped up down the left field line, racing over is Zeisler. It will loop out of play, 0-2. Across the river, Owensboro Catholic is ranked as the #2 team in the state in Kentucky. They trail Bowling Green 21-14 in the second quarter. Henderson County trails South Warren 17-0 at the half. Mater Dei and Castle playing tonight. That's a big game as well, along with Wrights and Sens Lincoln. 0-2, a half swing by Phillips, throw down to second. Not in time, but Phillips struck out anyways, so the inning is over. The Otters score 2 in the 8th. They use 1 hit, an error, and a walk. Noah Myers, a 3-run day, and the Otters add some insurance. The closer, Jake Polancic, coming into the game. It's an 8-4 Otters lead as we go to the 9th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
We catch up with Holy Moly. He's been sweating too, trust me. Let's keep an eye on him. All right, is he at 1, 2, or 3? Shout it out. I heard 3. That's where he was. Great job. Thanks for playing. It's the Holy Moly Shovel, brought to you by Indiana 811. A free service that can prevent costly damages to underground utilities. Know what's below. You can call 811 or visit 811now.com at least 2 full working days before every digging project, no matter how large or small.
Call the bullpen, Jake Polancic in the bench. The battery, Polancic is on the mound. Close behind the plate. The answer out there, East 2319, North Peterborough 812475. 9,000. Couple of high school football games to tell you about. Memorial halftime is shutting out North 10-0. Wrights leads Vincent's Lincoln 14-0. And Jasper leads Harrison 49-0. Heritage shows with the 42-7.
Top of the 9th inning from Bosse Field. The Otters 3 outs away from lowering their magic number to make the playoffs to 3. The Otters closer, Jake Polancic, into the game. No longer a safe situation as the Otters scored 2 in the 8th. Polancic, what a season he's had, making his 27th appearance of the year, 1.86 ERA. He's allowed just 6 earned runs all season, 41 strikeouts to 16 walks. His last 6 appearances have all been saves. Unless he gets himself into some trouble, that won't be the case tonight with a 4-run lead. And Zeisler, lefty batter, will lead things off for Florence. It's the bottom 3 in their lineup, Zeisler, Burks, and Johnson. Ready, Polancic home. Zeisler fouls it off the screen, 0-1. They're into the 9th, and Schaumburg, 7-6 lead for the Boomers over the Grizzlies. Back and forth ball game there as well. Schaumburg win, and they move to 2 back of Gateway for first place in the West. A 1 swing and a miss on a big fastball, 0-2 to Zeisler. Polancic's only outing of the week was 1 pitch on Wednesday against Joliet in the Otters win. He came in what ended up being a safe situation as the Slammers scored 2 runs in the 9th inning to make it a 3-run game. Make it a 7-4 game in the 9th. And Polancic came in with 2 outs, and on the very first pitch, induced a ground out. 0-2 is hammered by Zeisler into center field. Myers racing back, looking up off the wall. Zeisler hustling to second as Myers throws it in. A stand-up double for Hank Zeisler off the right center wall. That ball was crushed. One of those sounds off the bat, and you know that ball's going a long ways. UNLV Rebel with a double off the center field wall. His first hit of the game, it brings up Jeremiah Burks. Well, it would bring up Jeremiah Burks, but he's going to be pinch hit for by Tristan Garcia, the little lefty instead. Garcia hitting .262 on the season, coming off the bench here for Chad Rhodes and Florence. 8-4 Otters lead. Evansville 3 outs away from a victory here in the ninth as they scored 5 runs over the last 2 innings. Palansicombe. Garcia takes a strike at the letters 0-1. Something Chad Rhodes likes to do. A couple times that the Otters have faced the Y'alls. Garcia's come in to pinch hit in the ninth. Try to provide a clutch hit. 0-1, fouled off the screen, 0-2. Garcia just 5'5", 180, and he crouches down in the batter's box. When he crouches down, he might not even be 5 feet in the box. Brings his right foot all the way to the edge, the opposite white of the box. Interesting stance. Palancic at the belt. Peeks back at seconds. The 0-2. Ripped foul right side. And Garcia keeps the at-bat going. Eight runs on 7 hits, no errors for Evansville. 4 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors for Florence. Braden Scott is in line for the win, his 4th win of the season. Boy, was he brilliant after a shaky start to the game. Another 0-2. Swing and a miss. Big fastball blown by Garcia. One away. 94 from Palancic. A little extra hot sauce on that fastball. One away. Zeisler at second. Brings up the ready Ed Johnson. He's got a 14-game hit streak, and it all comes down to this at bat. 0 for 2 with a walk. Zeisler dancing over at second as Palancic delivers. Johnson chops it left side. Reyes plays it back on a hop, collects, throw to first. In time to get Johnson. Good stretch at Quiggle. 2 away. The Otters are an out away from a victory and seeing their magic number close to 3 to get back to the playoffs for the 7th time in the last 8 seasons.
Center fielder, 25.
It'll be Lane Hoover, the Y'alls center fielder, the last chance for Florence lefty batter. Palansicombe, Zeisler takes off to third. Phillips will throw down. Good tag by Reyes. Made it a close play off the helmet of Zeisler, but not in time. It's a 6:35 pitch again tomorrow evening on Saturday night. The Otters will send their ASAP Tim Oldgrafer. Carter Spivey will go for Florence, reigning Frontier League Pitcher of the Week, who's 2-0 against the Otters this year. 1-0 to Hoover, swing and a miss. 1-1. An intriguing pitching matchup tomorrow night on Saturday night here at the ballpark. Final night game of the season, at least in the regular season at Bosse. We'd love to have you join us out of the ballpark. It's going to be about 10 degrees cooler tomorrow. 1-1. Misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. And if you're a teacher, you got to join us at the ballpark because it's Teacher Appreciation Night. What better time than at the stressful start of the school year to appreciate some of the great heroes in our community. 2-1 by Hoover, popped up left side and drifting out of play. 2-2. The Otters are a strike away from victory. Palancic at the belts. Kicks and fires. High full count. Schomburg has beaten Gateway 7-6. Payoff coming from Palancic. Kicks and deals. Popped up left side and drifting out of play. So an Otters win, they will remain 3 back of Schomburg for second in the West and move to 5 back of Gateway for first place. And Schomburg with that win as well, they are into the playoffs. They have clinched a playoff spot. Another payoff home. Swing and a miss. Hoover strikes out. The Otters win and another step closer to another playoff berth under Andy McCauley. The magic number for Evansville down to 3 to make the Frontier League playoffs. After the double by Zeisser, Polancic sends the next three down in order, and the Otters, a come-from-behind 8-4 win tonight over the Y'alls. What an entertaining back-and-forth ball game tonight. Florence had leads 3 different times during the ball game, but Evansville not been a comeback team much this season. We're comeback cats tonight. They scored a run in the first to tie the ball game. Ethan Skinner had a triple. Dakota Phillips hit a go-ahead 2-run homer in the third. Lane Hoover had a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit to give Florence a lead in the 7th, but it was Noah Myers answering in the 7th with a 2-run homer to put the Otters in front. They added another run in the 7th, and then Insurance with 2 more runs in the 8th. Ethan Skinner capped off a big day with a RBI base hit. Evansville, 8 runs on 7 hits, no errors. The Otters leave 9 stranded, while Florence 4 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors, and the Y'alls leave 6 stranded. Well, with all the back and forth, the win will actually go to Kevin Davis tonight. He goes to 3-2, and Ross Thompson takes the loss 1-3. 4-run game in the 9th, so Jake Polancic does not take the save this evening. But Braden Scott really good for the Otters tonight, though he gets a no decision. 6 1/3, he allowed just 1 hit. 4 runs ended up being credited to him on the 7 walks, but he had 7 strikeouts. And before getting into a little bit of trouble with command in the 7th, he retired 11 in a row from the 3rd into the 7th. Carter Puri got the start for Florence, also a no decision. 3 innings pitched, allowed 3 runs on 3 hits. Otters offense, Ethan Skinner, Noah Myers, Dakota Phillips, all big days. Noah scores 3 runs, 1 for 3, the 2-run home run, and he's now just a run shy of Josh Allen for the most runs in an Otters single season. Ethan Skinner, a 2 for 4 day with 2 runs, and Dakota Phillips bats in 3 to move past Josh Allen for the 2nd most RBIs in career history in the Otters franchise record books, finishing 1 for 4. The final totals again, the Otters 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors. Florence 4 runs on 3 hits and 2 errors. The Otters moved to 9 games over 500, 48-39, and their magic number lowered to 3 to make the Frontier League playoffs. The Otters have the chance to clinch here at home on Sunday if they win tomorrow night. Florence falls to 35-53. They stay in a tie for Lake Erie for dead last in the Frontier League West. Great job by our entire crew on another hot night here in Evansville. Our camera operators, Michael Rust and John Smith. Our excellent director, Ian Klingler. I've been Griffin Epstein on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. The Otters move a step closer to the Frontier League playoffs with an 8-4 win on a Friday night from Bosse Field. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night, 6:35 first pitch. Until then, good night from Evansville.